Can Denver prove they have it? I don't know at this point if they do.
Well, the Bills can be a formidable rushing team with the development of rookie Antoine Smith. They can always keep a fresh back in the game. Smith is the leading rusher for the Bills. Thurman Thomas, of course, has just gone over 11,000 yards in his great career. The problem for the Bills is they get behind and then can't use the rushing game.
But they've got to have the running game against the Denver Broncos, because this is a team that starts as fast as they do slow. They have 56 points in the first quarter. The Bills have 6. You've got to get out of the first quarter against the Broncos strong. You've got to be even. If you're in a hole, you're asking for serious trouble.
And it remains to be seen if that rough trip in will affect the Broncos' play today. The Bills and the Broncos back with the kickoff in just a moment.
Sorry. Late for work? Try the new Accord V6 Coupe from Honda.
When Olga Maslova wants to phone her husband, she gives new meaning to the words long-distance call. He works in a space station.
Before you call or you fax or you internet, you need this, and this.
It's a job for Siemens. We're experts in voice, data, video, all kinds of communications, anywhere on Earth. So why not above the Earth as well?
So for this, or this.
We're Siemens.
We can do that.
Welcome back to Buffalo. Broncos win the toss. They'll receive. Steve Christie set to kick off for the Buffalo Bills. Vaughn Hebron awaits the kick. Hebron moves up, takes a short kick at the 9-yard line. Got away from one man and then fell down. So a good defensive play on special teams by Smedley, Eric Smedley. And now John Elway leads his offense onto the field. Elway needs 150 yards today to go over 50,000 total offense in his career. And don't forget the switch in the offensive line. Zimmerman moving to left tackle against the Raiders a week ago, with Tony Jones moving to right tackle. Terrell Davis, leading rusher in the AFC. Detron Smith starting today. Howard Griffith banged up his knee against the Raiders, inactive, won't play today. First down just short of the 20 for the Broncos. Terrell Davis, the lone setback. McCaffrey in motion. First down pass, a short drop. Elway on target to the 24-yard line. Shannon Sharp tackled immediately by Damian Covington. Formidable front three for the Bills defense. Hanson, Washington, and Bruce Smith tied for the NFL lead in sacks with 9. Bryce Popp also a formidable pass rusher. Spielman, the leading tackler. Jeff Burris had some injury problems early in the season, back at left corner. Vaughn Hebron in the lineup here now on second down for Elway. Hebron in motion. Backfield empty. Here's Elway to pass. Across the middle and complete. First down. Catch made by Dwayne Carswell. And Damian Covington again forced to cover the tight end. It'll be first down Denver.
You know, Tom, you look at this game the way it started offensively for the Denver Broncos. It's like they want a game to start. They've got their rhythm. They've got a real, cadence going with their offense. Bang, bang, bang. Last week, lots of yards, no rhythm, and no real ability by Mike Shanahan's offense to threaten consistently.
Davis back in the game. McCaffrey, bottom of the screen. Rod Smith to the top. Davis bounces to the outside. Wrapped up after a gain of 3 or 4 yards. Jeff Burris, first to arrive on the scene. There's Terrell Davis. One of the reasons he's had such a tremendous season has been the fact that he's not having the migraine headaches that have bothered him throughout his career. He comes in averaging 123 yards per game, which is tops in the NFL. One of the reasons that the migraines have gone, he hadn't had one since the San Diego game last season. He's wearing braces, which corrected his bite, changed his medication too. It's made a big difference. No more migraines. Elway with a fake to Davis. Finds Sharp. Shannon falls forward close to the first down, just shy of the 45-yard line. Free safety Kurt Schultz and Bryce Popp putting the pressure on John Elway.
And what the Denver defense, or the Buffalo defense, has seen so far out of Denver's offense is what makes them so dangerous. They can give you one tight end in Sharp. They can give you the other tight end in Carswell. They can give you Von Hebron in the backfield. They can give you Davis in the backfield. They mix things up. John Elway spreads his ball around as good as any other quarterback in the league. People make a big deal about Drew Bledsoe and 9 different receivers catching a touchdown in New England. Well, everything is done just as well here in Denver.
So far, though, it's been the tight ends, 2 to Sharp and 1 to Carswell.
First down for the Broncos.
First down, Denver. They have spread it out this year, though. They're the 3 top receivers. Sharp passing McCaffrey for the 2nd spot in the game last week against Oakland.
And teams aren't dumb, though. Sharp is getting much of his offense done in short bursts. They're guarding the middle of the field and double teaming if he gets down the field.
Opening drives have resulted in scores 4 of 7 times. Elway has not missed a pass. Here's a handoff to Davis. Dropped by Damian Covington. Covington made a nice play against the run that time.
But this defense in general, especially the front 7, is the strength of this defense. And it all starts up front in the middle with Ted Washington, who went out of that game last Monday night against Indianapolis, got poked in the eye, and had to leave. But he's wearing a little bit of a visor deal. See the visor there around his helmet? That's all put in there just to keep the fingers out of his face mask. So I think they're nuts for sticking your fingers in any nose guard's face mask. You're liable not to draw back as many as you put in.
I don't think I want to make Ted mad either. Second down play. Davis bouncing his way close to midfield. Tackled again by Damian Covington. Covington in his 3rd season from North Carolina State. 3rd-round draft choice in '95 is the 2nd leading tackler for the Bills. Only had 4 career starts prior to this season.
And he's very much the unsung inside linebacker for the Bills. Everybody wants to talk about Chris Spielman. Well, you know, Chris Spielman is a great inside linebacker, but Covington is, I think, in my opinion, a more sure tackler.
6 defensive backs now as Covington's out of the game. Smith, Green, and McCaffrey, 3 wide receivers. Elway from the gun, swings it to Davis. Davis goes one-on-one with Burris, and Burris makes the play at midfield with help from Marlo Perry.
A big difference. A week ago, this offense of Denver's matched up man-on-man with Terrell Davis, saying, hey, look, you've got to beat the one guy. He made him miss 3 or 4 times. Jeff Burris concentrated like he should on that belt buckle, didn't watch anything else jiggling and wiggling, and made the tackle on the whole body.
And now it's going to be your Tom Ruin that'll wiggle it downfield to Burris, who is in punt receiving formation. There he is. Ruin's punt. Burris calls for the fair catch, makes it at about the 15-yard line. Bills' first possession coming up when we return to Rich Stadium.
Budweiser withstood the test of time. It has over 120-year heritage. That heritage is there for one simple reason, because of the people behind the brand Budweiser, and most importantly because quality was never compromised. Beer is like a food, and just like any natural food with no additives and preservatives, fresh food does indeed taste better. A beer is the best it will ever be when it leaves the brewery. You can look exactly at how fresh Budweiser is through our born-on dating system. It tells you when that product was made and how fresh that product is in the marketplace. There's a lot of pride and tradition in the beer business, and that's what we're about. We're about people, about families, and about selling the highest quality beer products in the world.
Every so often, something new comes along that makes people go back to rethink. Go back to reconsider. Go back to the drawing board. Introducing the larger, more powerful Accord. An Accord like no other. From Honda.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By the 1998 Honda Accord, an Accord like no other. by UPS, the official package delivery company of the NFL. And by the Edge Pizza, new from Pizza Hut. Have you been to the Edge?
Not too far from Niagara Falls, Orchard Park, New York. Tom Hammond, Randy Cross. Buffalo will begin this way with Jerry Ostrowski starting at his third offensive line position this season. Now at right tackle, Todd Collins, Thurman Thomas, although we'll see a lot of Antoine Smith today, and the incomparable Andre Reed. First down play, Collins, play action fake. Here's Eric Moulds, who is in on the first play at wide receiver, and a stop by Darian Gordon for very little gain. In fact, maybe a loss of a couple yards on the play. The Broncos defense was ready for that one. Smith and Traylor, the former Chiefs, Michael Dean Perry and Alfred Williams up front for the Broncos. Mobley, the young linebacker, leading tackler. Romanowski, the veteran. The safeties, Braxton and Atwater, got a little bit of a criticism for their run defense against Napoleon Kaufman last week. Collins goes down the sideline, incomplete for Moulds. Eric Moulds, the first-round draft choice of the Bills last year, somewhat of a disappointment so far in his career, and many thought he had a breakthrough game Monday night against Indianapolis.
Well, he really did, and they involved him early, but Marv Levy points out very quickly he's a guy that, you know, got up to about 220 pounds, and they finally got him back down about 5 pounds to 215. They want him down about 210 to get that quickness and that quick burst and velocity back into his offense.
So now from their 12, it's 3rd and 10 for Buffalo. They'll keep it on the ground to Thurman Thomas, and Thomas crosses the 20 to the 21-yard line. He will be short of the first down as Darian Gordon makes the tackle, but Thomas will give his punter, Chris Moore, a little room.
You know, one thing you can't do against the Denver defense is be cute. They started out trying to be cute with that trick play. It didn't work. That put them in a hole, and it set up that rush for Thurman Thomas. And that is a defense solely designed not to give up the first down. They give up the yards, but not the first down.
See what Moore has done this season. Gordon awaits the punt. Gordon, of course, second in the NFL, averaging nearly 14 yards a return. This one ducks out of bounds, just short of the 35-yard line, where the Broncos will take over when we return to Buffalo.
Nick, there is still one missile left. You must get to it before the others do.
It's a 200-horsepower engine, too audacious to be kept secret. It's advanced climate control, engineered to keep you cool no matter what kind of pressure you're under.
Son's birthday.
It's the TL from Acura. The true definition of luxury. Yours.
Listen up. I have been to the edge and back, and I will tell you what I've learned. What I have learned is you don't need outer crust.
Introducing the Edge Pizza from Pizza Hut. A new pizza with no outer crust, so the toppings keep right on going.
Mushrooms keep on going. Pepperoni and sausages keep right on going. I have been to the edge and back. Join me.
16 pieces of pure pulchritudinous toppings. Have you been to the Edge?
Your attention, please. Your attention. Are y'all just here today or what? Let's go.
This is the NFL on NBC.
John Elway and the Broncos ready for their second possession of the game.
You know, John Elway is a quarterback. When you game plan for him, you've got to take a lot of things into consideration, but I've got some Elway rules. You know, you don't want him to scramble, but when he does, you better never assume a play is over. Every receiver is open, and if he moves, his receivers move with him. He's been known for his strong arm over the years, and I think the Buffalo defense is very, very aware that in these windy conditions at Rich Stadium, which next to the Jet Stadium, next to Giant Stadium is the biggest problem in the league. John Elway can still zip a ball across the field if you let a receiver go 40, 50 yards.
He hasn't missed a pass so far in this game. As you see the other scores, the Giants break on top of the Bengals. Delayed handoff. Detron Smith got nothing. Stopped in the backfield by the defense of the Bills, led again by Damian Covington, who's off to a great start here in the first quarter.
You know, Detron Smith is 3 inches shorter than Howard Griffith at fullback. He's 5'9", 230 pounds. He's more of kind of an end table than he is a fullback. I mean, you can almost eat off the top of the guy's head at 5'9", but he should be more effective as a lead blocker because of that natural-born leverage.
Two tight ends now, Sharp and Carswell on second and long. Short drop by Elway. Rifles it complete to Sharp. And Shannon falls forward for a first down. It will be close anyway. Henry Jones makes sure he doesn't run further, and it's when they spot it, it will be very close.
I tell you, if I'm Wade Phillips and I'm the defensive coordinator, I can't be lulled to sleep. The defense can't be lulled to sleep. They're throwing to tight ends. They're giving the ball to the running backs. This is not a bad receiver core with McCaffrey and Smith. And Wade Smith, there, the defensive coordinator, the Buffalo Bills, knows full well you cannot rest a second, especially on the backside of a play with a guy like Rod Smith.
And a bit ironic that Phillips, who formerly was the head coach of the Broncos, saw John Elway firsthand up close, now has to try to defend him. Elway misses his first pass intended for McCaffrey. Jeff Burris hit him hard, and Elway went down in the face of the rush from Bruce Smith.
Well, anytime you see John Elway in the pocket like he was there, you see him patting the ball. You hear pat, pat, pat. That's because the receivers down the field are covered. Here you got Burris working against McCaffrey, but McCaffrey is the second to third option for John Elway. There's the first pat, the second, the third, the fourth, and then the throw. That's when you know John Elway is looking and he's searching.
Davis has a first down, beats Schultz down the sideline all the way to the 22-yard line of the Bills. That was a mismatch as Kurt Schultz could not make the play on Davis.
And this is purely designed to take advantage of the quickness of Davis. Just flip it out quick, get a great lead block outside on a pull by Zimmerman, the left tackle. And now it's just that burst. This offense and this running back Davis did not have that burst last week against the Raiders.
Closing in on 1,000. That one covered 29 yards for Davis. Split backs here, Smith and Davis. And false start by Gary Zimmerman will cost the Broncos 5 yards.
Oh, he must be completely comfortable now at left tackle. He's jumped off sides a couple times last two games.
Referee today, Ron Blum.
False start, 65 offense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
You know, and seriously, part of that is a comfort zone for an offensive lineman when they know things are coming. He's thinking about a technique. He's not thinking about the count as much as he's thinking about what am I going to do with Bruce Smith and how am I going to do it.
That'll make you do a lot of funny things thinking about Bruce Smith. Davis tripped up in the backfield, falls forward for a gain of 2 or 3 yards. Hanson, Washington, and Sam Rogers from the linebacker spot, putting the hit on Davis.
You know, and defensively for the Buffalo Bills is a decision time right here. You've got John Elway in this offense in the second and, 11 or 12, and you've got a defense that can get after the quarterback. You see the sacks and per attempt, third in the league. This is a situation. It's second down. Now's the time to take your shot with a blitz.
Elway nearly fumbled the snap. And is taken down. Bruce Smith. And Smith will save the football. Why? That's his 10th sack, and he becomes the first player in NFL history to have double-digit sacks in 11 seasons.
And he does it, it's the persistent sack. It's not a talent sack, because Zimmerman does a nice job of blocking him initially, but as any offensive lineman will know, and most fans, once you lose the guy inside and the quarterback runs, you have no control.
And there it is, the first player in NFL history, 11 seasons with double-digit sacks, 150 for his career, second all-time. Davis behind a convoy of blockers, cutting back to the 20, and wrestled down there by Marlo Perry. Bruce Smith talking yesterday about this milestone, saying it would be very significant. You saw him immediately take the football to save. This was one he was looking for, and it does cement what is already a sure spot in the Hall of Fame, but goes down as part of the Bruce Smith lore.
He's a 1970s defensive end at his size at about 255, 260, dominating in a 320, 330-pound era of offensive tackles he's going against.
Elam will attempt a 38-yard field goal, and it's no good. Elam struggled a bit last week. bothered by injuries. And so Shanahan gets the big run from Davis. Then the drive stalls, and Elam misses the field goal.
You know, this is not only a tough place for a quarterback, it's very tough for a kicker. Wade Phillips, the coordinator, knows you get a kicker in here, he's having a bad time, the wind will keep him having a bad time.
Is it the car? Or is it luck? The Prelude from Honda.
Canon's Multipass C3000. It faxes, copies, scans, and prints color images so realistic you can taste it. Well, practically.
Mr. Dave Thomas?
May I approach the bench, Your Honor? According to our records, you haven't tried our new pitas.
I guess I'm guilty.
Come try Wendy's delicious fresh stuffed pitas today.
These are great.
You know Charlie Small.
I do. He should be back in 2 to 3.
The working definition of sportsmanship.
Are those deer antlers?
Stag, actually. Bagged it myself.
What do you use?
Chrysler LeBaron. Working NBC Wednesdays.
Next Saturday, all hands on deck as Autry Denson and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame host the Midshipmen of Navy. Next Saturday at 1:30 Eastern on NBC.
Bruce Smith, painful knees and all, and the Buffalo defense with a big stop, turning the ball over to their offense. We asked Bruce about his knees. He said, will you have surgery? He said, the day after the season is over. Follow the NFL season online at NBCSports.com this week. Gil Brandt previews the field for Rookie of the Year honors and points out the biggest plays of the season. This week's poll asks, who's the coach of the year at the halfway point of the season? All at NBCSports.com. And one of the candidates is in the backfield right now for the Bills. That's Antoine Smith at running back. And on the reverse, Eric Moulds. And Moulds chased out of bounds after a gain of 8 or 9 yards by Tim McKyer and Darian Gordon.
Now, a play like this for the Buffalo Bills is used because of the reaction time and the speed of the defense for Denver. One of the quicker defenses in the league, and you know they're going to bite. And anytime you run a reverse, anytime you run a trick play, you get 4 yards or more, it's a success. It goes into the other coordinator's computer bank upstairs, and you got them thinking about it.
That one covered 9. Here's Antoine Smith, dropped. And right now, let's go back to New York. Greg Gumbel has an update for us. Greg?
All right, Tom, at Washington, Gus Farad has answered a Vinny Testaverde touchdown pass with one of his own. 15 yards. Leslie Shepard pulls it in just in bounds with the extra point. The Redskins and the Baltimore Ravens are all tied up at 7. Tom Hammond, back to you.
All right, thank you, Greg. And here in Buffalo, we are tied as well, scoreless, as they will measure for the first down. Antoine Smith dropped nearly in his tracks by John Mobley. He only needed a yard. And he got enough.
And we talked about the need to get off to a good start, an effective start. Part of getting off to a good start is keeping Mike Shanahan's offense off the field and off the scoreboard. And Marv Levy's offense right now is doing what they now do best. And that is being very vanilla, very consistent, nothing flashy, but not making mistakes. This is a guy that goes nuts about turnover ratio. They're minus 12.
Todd Collins overshot Lonnie Johnson, who went upstairs to make the catch. It'll be little or no gain. Tyrone Braxton hit him immediately. And Marv Levy saying this was not an explosive offense, as you noted, Randy. And one of the reasons he said that he thinks that they have not been able to score early is it's an offense that lacks confidence. They've had a lot of changes in the offensive line. Todd Collins is just starting to feel comfortable as Jim Kelly's replacement. And the takeaways, the turnovers have been a problem. As you said, minus 12. Their defense is just not getting any turnovers. Collins got away from the rush, flags down as he throws it away.
Lonnie Johnson working against Darian Gordon on a corner blitz did the smart thing for an offensive player. He just flat out grabs Gordon by the jersey and says, you aren't hitting my quarterback. I'll take the 10 yards.
Holding. 84 offense. 10 yards. Repeat second down.
And really, why do you say that's smart? Watch how free Darian Gordon coming from the left side of your screen is. 23. Lonnie Johnson sees. He reacts. Darn near rips the 2 off the back of the jersey for the 23 there off Darian Gordon. But, you know, it is. It's intelligent. If you're going to make a mistake and you don't pick up the guy where you're supposed to, at least come back and prevent a big play, a possible turnover on a blindside hit.
Now it's 2nd and 19. Collins protection this time and right through the hands of Quinn Early. He'd beaten Tim McIyer. He had a big chunk of yardage. Collins put it a little high, but it's a pass that Early should catch.
Oh, absolutely. He handled this pass much like the Buffalo defensive backs have handled their interception attempts. The ball's where it should be. The hands are where it should be. The fingers aren't where they should be because they should be around the ball.
Something wasn't there. Collins has hit 2 of 4 for a -3 yards. Delayed handoff. Antoine Smith nearly broke free. Caught by the ankles at the 35-yard line by Mobley.
You know, one thing about having a veteran staff like the Buffalo Bills do, you don't anticipate much panic out of a slow start. You mentioned that the slow starts offensively because of the confidence. Marv Levy has 1 star on the offense. That's Andre Reed. People consistently take his star away, and it's up to the unproven players to prove they can do it. And so far, that's been the problem because they haven't.
Gordon awaits Chris Moore's punt. Sends sails to Gordon at about the 20-yard line. And Darian returns it 10 yards to the 30. Still scoreless. 2:47 left in the first after that 44-yard punt.
10-yard return. All right, Buffalo.
This is the sound of commitment. The planes, trucks, and people of UPS in action, giving you more on-time delivery options than anybody else. Whether it's same day, overnight, 2-day, 3-day, ground, international. In other words, whatever you need to move your business.
Thanks.
UPS, moving at the speed of business.
Nick, there is still 1 missile left. You must get to it before the others do.
It's a 200-horsepower engine, too audacious to be kept secret. It's advanced climate control, engineered to keep you cool no matter what kind of pressure you're under.
Son's birthday.
It's the TL from Acura. The true definition of luxury. Yours.
Scoreless at the 2:47 mark, first period in Buffalo. You've heard of keeping up with the Joneses. Well, it's the Smiths that are the forces here. 2 of the best defensive players in the NFL history squaring off today. Former Kansas City Chief, now Denver Bronco Neil Smith, and the incomparable Bruce Smith of the Buffalo Bills coming into today. Here's where they stood. Smith already has a sack to reach 150 in his career, trailing only Reggie White. And there's a look at Neil Smith taking a breather now with the Broncos offense on the field.
Hey, Neil Smith, for my money, has to prove he can function without Derek Thomas on that outside of him as well as he did in Kansas City in Denver. He has not been the physical dominating force he was in Kansas City so far. And you know, what else can you say about this Smith, Bruce Smith? He has been the physical dominating force.
Neil on the season with 4.5 sacks coming into today. Now 10 for Bruce Smith. Elway had it knocked down by Phil Hansen. Hansen, Randy, is an unsung defensive player. 7th season, North Dakota State, very solid.
You know, he's one of the first players opposing offensive linemen talk about when they talk about the Buffalo Bills defense. And, you know, he comes a lot closer to catching this bullet from John Elway than Quinn Early did catching the pass from Todd Collins.
Weren't anyone else throwing it with a little less velocity, Hansen might have had it stick. Davis cut back, trapped in the backfield. Hansen got a piece. First man to hit him, though, was Gabe Northern. Spielman was there, too.
Yeah, one thing I love about this Buffalo defense is just their pride. A lot of veterans, a lot of Pro Bowlers, and they know darn well what the key to the season for the Buffalo Bills is. The key is the defense has to keep them in every single football game.
Chris Spielman, 84 tackles. He had 14 Monday night against Indianapolis in a game that the Bills won barely thanks to their defense. Their offense did nothing. 3 field goals. Elway buying a little time, now has plenty of green in front, pulls up and short hops Shannon Sharp. It'll be 4th down for Denver.
Yeah, I'm not sure if John Elway wasn't past the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball. You know, because the point of the line of scrimmage was just past the 30-yard line. Now watch where John Elway goes. He can't go past about right here. Check it out. He double takes. He was past the line of scrimmage.
He was.
Without a doubt. It was pointed out by the defense of Buffalo, but it was missed by the officials.
Tom Ruin will punt on 4th down. Low, short punt. Jeff Burrs lets it bounce. It takes a good Denver bounce. And will be downed at about the 24-yard line by Dwayne Carswell. 45-yard punt with a good roll.
You know, John Elway last week rushed for 48 yards, his highest total of the year. And here he is getting this thing and letting it go. And that ball is on the 29-yard line when it's released from his hand, and that is past the line of scrimmage. And, you know, obviously, earlier in his career, running was a real option. Right now, I think running is more of a necessity, something that has to be done. And you saw there the hesitation at running.
He leaves the running to Terrell Davis these days. 1:45 left, first quarter. Buffalo still has not scored a touchdown in the first quarter of this season. Todd Collins completes the pass. And diving for a first down, Andre Reed with his first reception of the season. Andre Reed passing the 800 reception milestone against Indianapolis. He's the 4th in NFL history with that many.
Well, I told you, this is the star of this offense. Defenses want to take him away. He's going to catch a zone there. That gave him the room up front, and that fight at the end is one of the reasons he's a star.
Thurman Thomas, another star, gets only a couple of yards. John Mobley throws him back.
Stop by 51, John Mobley.
Next Saturday, it's the return of the NBC Saturday Trilogy with 3 amazing shows. First, The Pretender is back. Then the newest thrill, Sleepwalkers, followed by the return of Profiler. NBC Saturday Trilogy next Saturday on NBC. Collins sacked. Traylor will get the sack. Keith Traylor, his second sack of the season.
Well, what happens here is you got your basic jailbreak. Keith Traylor and Harold Hasselbeck, number 96, coming from the middle of this offensive line. Just comes straight through. I noticed I didn't say defensive line. I said coming from the middle of the offensive line because the offensive line wasn't where it was supposed to be, which is in front of Traylor and Hasselbeck.
20 seconds left in the quarter. Collins. Just tripped up. That's Neil Smith. Just got a hand to trip up Todd Collins.
You know, that play right there, Tom, they ran this numerous times against New England with a play action, trying to fool the defense it was a run. They haven't run it effectively, and the safeties ignored the play action.
Bills still have not scored a touchdown in a first quarter this season, but they didn't lose any ground. It's 0-0.
All right, take care of yourself and call us.
Everything okay?
Now he's going to France to study painting.
I thought he was into photography.
Well, now he wants to be Monet. Last year, nice tea business, now this. Now, why can't he find one thing and stick to it?
Well, he is your dad.
At Aetna Retirement Services, we not only help you build assets, but manage them as well. Build for retirement, manage for life.
Hey, Joey, light up the court.
And hit the radio.
Every day,
car batteries are put to the test. And every day, America's most trusted lives up to its name. Die Hard. Tried and true.
Tom Hamm and Randy Cross in Buffalo after a scoreless first quarter. The second quarter will begin with the Buffalo punt. The offense of the Bills continues to sputter, kept in the game by their defense. It's a familiar refrain for Buffalo fans.
Well, definitely. You know, I mentioned it last week when they played Oakland, and really this is a team in the Denver Broncos that eventually will spurt on Marv Levy's Bills, and they have to hang with them. Another thing they have to do is a young quarterback like Todd Collins has got to have some options. He's going to get pressured, he's going to be fooled, and they're going to be covered. He's got to have other options and things to do. You saw Johnson, 84, the tight end in the front of the screen there. He's got to have that option of dumping that off and not having to try to spread a little mustard on that football and eat it.
Chris Moore ready to punt. Darian Gordon, who spent the last series on the bench, not in the secondary, is back to return this punt. Will fair catch it and makes the fair catch at the 40 or 39-yard line of the Denver Broncos. And as John Elway trots to the field, we'll trot to New York and join Greg Gumbel for an update.
All right, Tom, it's St. Louis, the Battle of Missouri. The Rams had gone 10 quarters without an offensive touchdown until this one. 13 yards, Tony Banks to Isaac Bruce with the extra point. St. Louis with the lead on Kansas City, 7-3. Tom?
All right, Greg, good news for Denver Bronco fans as the Chiefs behind early. Their team, the Broncos, scoreless tie with Buffalo. Terrell Davis. 3 yards. Damian Covington again on the tackle for Buffalo. Covington, the all-time career tackle leader for North Carolina State. Twice was All-Atlantic Coast Conference. Also was on the wrestling team with the Wolfpack. And in fact, in his high school days in New Jersey, was a Prep All-American wrestler and New Jersey Wrestler of the Year at Overbrook High School.
And he's got that kind of wiry snap-on-you strength, too.
Elway. A gunshot complete to Rod Smith and a fumble, and the Bills have it. And then they fumble the ball. Out of bounds. Whose will it be? Denver. And now they're going to discuss it. Keep in mind that the Bills have not recovered a fumble all season.
And did such a wonderful job of punching that thing out of Smith's hands and getting the recovery. Thomas Smith has it and then can't hold on to it. The question is not only who had it, but where was his body as he recovered the ball on the sidelines. A lot of the times the player will get it, but part of his body will be laying out of bounds when he does get it.
The Bills have such an aggressive defense, it's almost incomprehensible that they haven't recovered a fumble all season and may still not have. It's been driving Marv Levy crazy.
And there's really not much you can do about it. It's not like something you can, I'll solve it by doing X or Y. I mean, this is just something, one, holding on to interceptions, and two, causing fumbles. Because a lot of times you try to start causing fumbles, that's when you miss tackles. And Marv Levy not happy with the call that goes against his Bills. The ball goes back to the Broncos.
It will be Denver ball and way upfield.
I'll tell you one thing about Marv Levy. 72 years old.
The ball was fumbled, and Denver recovered. First down, Denver.
All right, here's Rod Smith. You'll see the fumble. Ball poked out from behind. Now you're going to see Thomas Smith get it. McCaffrey pokes the ball out. McCaffrey crawls over the top, and he gets it. The ball did pop back out, but at no time it looked like his body was ever out of bounds. Here you'll be able to really see the body. Smith, ball out. He had the ball, and he was inbounds.
Denver ball, first down run, Terrell Davis. 2 yards. The Buffalo defense this last couple of series led by Phil Hansen playing the run tough from Davis, and Marv Levy is so frustrated about the fact that they cannot recover a fumble. Perhaps the old adage, maybe Smith should have just fallen on it, but he saw a chance to gain some yards and try to pick it up. They remain the only team that has not recovered a fumble.
But I'll tell you, Tom, this defense has not recovered a fumble, but if this defense wasn't as good as it is, this would easily be an 0-17. It would be challenging for the worst team in the league.
Batted back in the face of John Elway by Ted Washington.
You know, and Ted Washington, look at that big left arm of his. Last year, he hyperextended his elbow, and he wears a great big old brace on that thing. And obviously, isn't it sound redundant to say great big old Ted Washington? Because everything is big on Ted Washington. Big legs, big midsection, and he gets that great big old arm up there with that brace on that to block that pass.
He's a great big old 6'4", 325 pounds, is Ted. 7th year from Louisville.
He's a couple of happy meals over.
Yeah, I would say so. 6 defensive backs on now. 3rd down and long. Elway, you see for the day, twice has had passes knocked down. Elway steps up. Partially deflected and picked off. Intercepted by Manny Martin. And Martin brings it back to about the 16-yard line where he's tackled by Ed McCaffrey.
Tom, remember I talked about rhythm and being able to get into a rhythm? That was a late snap. The whole play, the timing was off. The ball was tipped, and an Elway interception.
His 6th of the season.
The new Century offers the luxury of dual-zone climate control, which does exactly what the name says. So whoever's on the right can have it a few degrees cooler than whoever's on the left, or vice versa. There are many degrees of luxury in the new Century. Dual-zone climate control is just one. You'll also like its cool price.
We were on vacation.
Oh, your sunglasses.
When we realized we were sitting on a gold mine.
Rubber sunglasses.
Too bad none of the stores saw it that way.
So, any more bright ideas?
Actually, yes.
I can see clear.
Our own website. And before we knew it, we were selling shades to everyone under the sun.
Open a storefront on the internet with the most powerful network in the world.
Ever since I can remember, Jake did things his own way.
Nobody believed him when he said he was going to surf the mountain.
Snowboarding will never be as popular as skiing.
Yeah. Why do I use the car? I spent my whole life doing things my own way. American Express never questioned it.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Century by Buick. Discover a little luxury in this century. By AT&T, it's all within your reach. By Frost Brewed Coors Light, who reminds you the 3 most important words are, "Hey there, man." And by American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more.
Buffalo skyline as seen from the lake. Tom Hammond, Randy Cross, Orchard Park, Rich Stadium. 0-0 game after the Elway interception. Todd Collins and Buffalo taking over. Here's Antoine Smith for the 9th run. Dragged down from behind by Alfred Williams.
Well, that interception John Elway threw on that last play for the Denver Broncos is a team effort. Not only do you want to watch Phil Hansen, 90 right here, watch Jeff Burris, 22. He tips the ball. Hansen hits the quarterback Elway and causes that. And I'll be honest, I think he was throwing that thing away, just trying to get it deep and out of bounds.
3rd tip of the day against Elway. Here's Collins going deep for Reed. He did a 360 trying to find the ball, and it gave the defense time to recover. Ray Crockett got there, and so did Tyrone Broxton.
Absolutely no clue. Poor Andre Reed went out there. The ball was thrown up, and here's an example of the wind I was talking about. Because the ball at this point, as Andre Reed is going down the field, is hanging and moving with the wind. He can't see it over that shoulder. He can't see it over that shoulder, and by the time he turns back, it's over the original shoulder.
Right. Jim Kelly talks about how the wind swirls here at Rich Stadium. Difficult to figure out. There's a determined run by Antoine Smith that hit the first down. Didn't look like he'd be able to get it. Hit in the backfield, and Antoine twists his way to the Buffalo first down.
You know, Antoine Smith is a running back that's going to make a big, big difference as time goes on with this offense, because not only of his explosiveness, but his ability and his strength at the end of runs. He's going to break a lot of tackles and make a lot of yards late in runs.
Collins across the middle, threw it. Intended for Andre Reed and way overshooting him. Ray Crockett defending Andre. We understand in that Dallas-Philadelphia game that Aikman has injured his neck and his return to the game is questionable.
That's all Jerry Jones and the Cowboys need is Troy Aikman to go out. They've already got about half an Emmitt Smith. Everybody tries to take Michael Irvin out of the ball game.
And the offensive line has been struggling.
And that's being charitable.
Kansas City still trailing St. Louis. Collins steps up and again way overthrows it. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Tyrone Braxton. He was just playing center field. Waited for the pass to come to him and it homed in on his hands. There is a penalty marker down. Collins is off to a rocky start.
You know, that one right there is a combination of a hit and bad mechanics.
70 offense. Penalty is declined.
Watch Collins be hit down low and then no follow through. Quarterbacks have got to follow through, especially with this kind of a wind. That ball floats on him. Bad for Collins, perfect for Braxton.
I hate machines. Huh. Sorry, Rosie.
Why don't we go to the new Sprint store at Radio Shack, George? They have Sprint's easy-to-use products.
And the know-how of Radio Shack.
They even showed Astro how to use his mobile phone.
They could even help you, Mr. J.
Astro has a mobile phone? Well, Rhonda.
The new Sprint store at Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Looking for more space? Try the next Century. It's got the most interior space of any vehicle in its class. Because extra space is one luxurious touch that's appreciated by families everywhere. The new Century by Buick.
Perfect for any game, Domino's has the perfect play. Choose from 3 delicious crusts. There's classic hand tossed, crunchy thin crust, or go deep with thick ultimate deep dish. So make the call and have it all. Call now, and you can enjoy delicious Domino's pizza during the game. And why not add some of Domino's spicy buffalo wings or steaming hot breadsticks?
The Cleveland Indians. 3 times this postseason, these underdogs have had to win when it counts. Now it's all on the line again. The Florida Marlins. Can the team with the best home record in baseball win one more and capture the World Championship? A do-or-die World Series Game 7. Tonight, following football on NBC.
Tyrone Braxton with his second interception of the season, leading a 5th-ranked pass defense with 8 now on the year. I don't know if it's the excellence of the defense or the ineptness of the Buffalo offense. Todd Collins is 3 of 8 for 9 yards and an interception. Sacks total 11 yards, so they've got negative yardage in the passing game. Davis fights his way to the 20-yard line. 8-yard gain. Damian Covington, another tackle. Right now, we'll go back to New York. Greg Gumbel has another update for us. Greg?
All right, Tom, back to Jack Kent Cooke Stadium in Washington, where Bam Morris plows into the end zone to break a 7-7 tie and cap a 22-play drive. And now, Baltimore with a 1-touchdown lead on the Redskins early in the second quarter, Tom.
All right, Greg, seems odd to see Baltimore and Washington on the scoreboard. It's been a while since we've seen that. Elway, play action fake and a roll. Being chased. Tucks it under and dives to the 8-yard line. First down, Denver. Chris Spielman finally caught up with him. Sam Rogers couldn't catch him. Elway, even at his advanced age, has enough speed to elude the linebackers.
That is some serious guts to call by Mike Shanahan and Gary Kubiak. Just a naked boot this way. There's no receivers. People are blocking for John Elway. This is designed to get a first down. It's designed for 2, and it got a lot more than that.
12 to be exact.
Because John runs scared real well.
So Kubiak sees the bootleg pick up 12. First and goal for the Broncos. And a timeout called by Denver. Denver calls timeout, but they're knocking on the door for the first score of the game.
Oh, free beer. I gotta warn you, boys, those seats are taken. By us. Okay, I warned you.
Excuse me, those are our beers.
Excuse us. We should have known these were yours.
You being that rugged outdoor type and all.
Shit, couldn't you see him hiking through the Rockies, climbing snow-capped peaks like some great American hero?
Who do you think you are, John Wayne?
No, that would be me.
Yeah, right. I'm Ben Cartwright.
No, he's over there.
Anything we can do for you?
We was just about to buy a cold one for the Duke.
Oh, don't make a point of saying that too often. And once more will be too often.
Coors Light for the house!
Like this little fracas is about over.
You're buying a car. You know exactly which cars you want and which cars you don't want. But there are still cars out there that you don't know that you do want. Recently, Oldsmobile has come out with so many new models, they might not be on your list yet. They should be. So before you buy, find out all you can. Come to Oldsmobile's 100th anniversary premiere and drive them. Find out.
Coming up next, Game 2 of our NFL on NBC doubleheader. The Jaguars, the Steelers. Mark Brunell leads Jacksonville against Cordell Stewart and Pittsburgh in this fight for first in the AFC Central. Or Napoleon Kaufman and the Raiders face the Seahawks. Or regional action, the NFL on NBC next.
Bruce Smith in the defense trying to keep the Broncos out of the end zone, and thank goodness for Bruce. Makes a pretty good hood ornament there too, doesn't it? Thank goodness for their defense, because the offense is in its 10th straight quarter without a touchdown. Scoreless here in Buffalo, but first and goal for the Broncos. Elway's pass off the hands of Terrell Davis.
And this red zone is exactly where Mike Shanahan's offense is at its most dangerous. People always talk about, gee, it's a compressed field and there's not so much area to move around. Mike Shanahan's offense can beat you more ways from 10 yards out than it can from 30 yards out.
And, of course, the always dangerous Shannon Sharp, a man to look for here. Davis cuts back. Dropped at the 4-yard line by Henry Jones, the strong safety.
And the new weapon in this offense is Terrell Davis, and this move, the cutback, because of the job on the backside done by the blockers. Mark Schlereth does a great job on Spielman, 54, the inside linebacker, and Terrell Davis has that burst and that acceleration when he cuts back.
11 carries, 66 yards for Davis. Elway on third down, 1 of 3, but they have not converted a third down. Third and goal. Elway chased from the pocket. Pulls up, delivers, incomplete. Carswell closest to it, the ball well behind him. And on fourth down, Shanahan and company will attempt a field goal. Elam missed one earlier.
That is good team defense. Bruce Smith gets the outside initially, but Gabe Northern, number 99, comes all the way from the other side to hurry Elway. And a great job down the field in the end zone of coverage by the Buffalo defense.
Jason Elam attempting a 22-yard field goal, and this one is good. So after missing earlier, Elam connects, and the Broncos have the first points of the game. 3-0 Denver with 9:35 left in the second.
all-new Intrigue, a sophisticated twist on a sports sedan.
Most low-priced computer ads include legal type, like this, to let you know about all the wonderful things you won't be getting with your computer. Now this system includes everything you need to get started. Printer, monitor, and software. It's only $14.99 plus shipping and tax. And best of all, it's from Gateway. Gateway computers feature Intel Pentium processors. Call us at 1-800-GATEWAY and we'll build one for you.
Tuesday, a baby out of control.
Bouncer, bouncer, bouncer.
There's only one way to make her be quiet.
We've just got to keep her moving.
Yeah.
For the rest of our life.
If they stop, the baby explodes in tears.
Just drive without stopping.
Based on actual events.
Oh, man.
Speed Baby.
What's your name? Kiana.
I'm Mad About You special, NBC Tuesday.
Broncos turn the Braxton interception into 3 points, a Jason Elam field goal. And Elam set to kick off for the Broncos now, with Molds and Holmes deep for Buffalo.
Hey, as good a job as this Buffalo defense has done, frustrating John Elway and the Denver offense, this Buffalo offense has got to find a way to hold on to this ball for a while and keep this defense off the field. Not because of fatigue, just because of morale.
38 total yards and a -2 on the passing game for the Bills so far, and the rain has begun here at Rich Stadium. Elam's kickoff to Molds. And Eric Molds, been criticized for too much dancing on those kickoff returns, gets a good one here to the 32-yard line.
24 yards.
Halloween Sunday, they thought a serial killer was on the loose.
I don't think he's human, and he's taking out my city.
The only explanation was impossible to believe. 3 legends of evil are alive in L.A. An NBC original event, House of Frankenstein 97, next Sunday on NBC.
Great place to hide, Tom. It's L.A. Who'd notice? And that got to be right in place, too. It's a bad look there.
Well, this has been a house of horrors so far for the Bills offense. They're in their 10th quarter without a touchdown. Here's a pass to Reamersma, the tight end, former Michigan teammate of quarterback Todd Collins. Ray Crockett makes the stop after a gain of maybe 4 yards.
Hey, at this point, though, that play to Reamersma there was a little victory. This offense needs a little victory. Little victory after little victory, and you get a couple of first downs. You hold the ball for a while. Watch Todd Collins throw the ball, though. Does he look like he's kind of aiming it?
Yeah, you're right.
He's not slinging it. He's kind of aiming it.
He looks like a quarterback that has lost his confidence. Here's Thurman Thomas. Can't get outside. Steve Atwater horse collars him and throws him out of bounds. Atwater, one of the men that got to the Broncos training facility to catch the bus and eventually the plane to Buffalo, got there by snowmobile yesterday.
There were some great stories coming out of that whole thing between Atwater coming on snowmobile, McKyer going through the snow, as well as Zimmerman to get into the stadium. But you know, that's not a patented big hit from Atwater. It has been missing from his game, but is a sure tackle.
3rd down for Buffalo. Collins still looking. Could find no one. And Alfred Williams takes him out of bounds. And again, the Buffalo offense does absolutely nothing.
Well, you know, part of the problem is they know Andre Reed is the guy. So what do? You bracket him inside and out. Up top, you got Braxton, the safety. Down below, you got Crockett, the corner. There is nowhere to get the ball to a friendly face. Andre Reed is just not a factor against that defense.
But didn't Reed make a mistake in not running with the quarterback to give him a target as Collins was scrambling?
Right about the time of that collision when Crockett hit him.
Gordon fields Moore's punt at the 15-yard line and then falls down, sits down to be more precise, at the 25-yard line.
Return.
And as the Broncos get set to take over, let's check in again with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Tom, at the Meadowlands, the Giants have taken a 10-7 lead. This is the ever-popular ensuing kickoff. Eric Bieniemy breaks loose. A horrible attempt at a tackle by Brad Deloiso nets him nothing. A 102-yard return. That's a franchise record for Cincinnati. The Bengals regain the lead on the Giants. 14-10, second quarter, Tom.
former Colorado Buffalo with the kickoff return.
Lighten up, Greg. Greg's starting to dog the kickers now.
Pitch to Terrell Davis. Beautiful tackle right at the 25-yard line. Chris Spielman, leading tackler for the Bills, the former Detroit Lion, who spent 8 years in Detroit, all 8 as their #1 tackler.
And this is a 3-4 defense designed to let those inside linebackers run to the ball. And especially when you've got a nose tackle like Ted Washington who can eat up blockers. That lets Covington and Spielman go where they want.
A late Dawson reception has given Kansas City the lead over St. Louis. Davis set up a 3rd and long for the Denver offense. There's Damian Covington with help from Ted Washington. Credit for the stop.
Boy, it's a nice job by that whole defense of maintaining their gaps and getting to the ball. Watch Ted Washington, 92, down the line, maintaining his blocks, getting there. He and Covington make that tackle. I mean, that is what defenses do against Terrell Davis if they want to stop the cutback. Stay in your lanes.
Detron Smith in the backfield with Terrell Davis. Elway steps up, and there's the completion to Smith. Not a proton, not a neutron, but a Detron. And he has the first down for Denver.
That's a little too deep for me, Tom.
Bruce Smith was chasing Elway, but he stepped up, got time, found Smith, and then he's tackled by Henry Jones.
But look at the difference, the contrast in quarterbacks. Elway, the veteran, just confidently moves out of the pocket and finds that alternative in Detron Smith. You're not seeing the confidence or the alternatives from Todd Collins.
Started 4 for 4, only 30% since then. Terrell Davis spins and gets a couple of extra yards.
That's one thing about making spin moves and whatnot inside, especially against this defense. When you've got safeties like Scholes and Henry Jones, if you spin inside, you're liable to spin into a face full of safety.
Terrell Davis, 70 yards on the day now. His mom has moved from San Diego to Denver. He said she's been so good to him. He went away to school and now sharing this important time, this successful time of his life with his mom in Denver. Lived with him for a while now. She's gotten her own place with a couple of her kids. Davis on the receiving end of the pass that time and cracked hard by Spielman and Hansen.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tom, you know, this Denver team struggles yesterday to get out of Denver. The huge snowstorm. People are saying, well, gee, how is that snowstorm going to affect them? What is the story with the weather and the travel? Well, I'll tell you what, folks, they better forget about the weather and the travel. They got a lot more problems with this Buffalo Bills defense. The defense is the bigger factor for Mike Shanahan and his group.
They got plenty of it in Denver, enough to share, but you can bet before the season's over, it'll be visiting Buffalo as well. Davis all by himself on the reception. Terrell Davis stutter steps his way to the 34-yard line of the Bills. Run out of bounds like Thomas Smith. Terrell Davis, dangerous as a receiver as well as a runner today.
You forget about a lot of things. You forget about your car keys, and some people forget about anniversaries, and occasionally forget about birthdays, but I can't see any way if you're on defense, you forget about Terrell Davis if he's anywhere inside those stripes. Wide open, no one around him. I mean, they're lucky he didn't make him pay with 6 points by leaving him that lonely.
It did get 24 yards and net a Denver first down. The ball spotted at the 33 of the Bills. Here's Davis on the ground. Nearly broke free to the 25-yard line. He rips off 8 yards before he's tackled by Kurt Schultz. Look at all the running backs that were taken ahead of Terrell Davis in the 95 draft. Some familiar names, some unfamiliar ones.
And I'll tell you what, Tommy, you take Napoleon Kaufman out of that mix, and Terrell Davis has outrushed all of them. Kaufman's made an impact, obviously, especially this year with the Raiders, but here's a guy that's a good, lucky pick, because nobody drafts that good, that deep on purpose.
Here he is again. Why not? Close to the first down. Wrapped up by Bruce Smith and Henry Jones. Chris Spielman was there, too.
It was funny, you talked about Terrell Davis's mother moving to Denver. You had a great talk with him last week in Oakland. We'd asked him about, you know, he's got the grandkids, and there's all kinds of kids running around the house. And how is it having those kids around the house? He goes, well, you know, sometimes you sit on one side of the fence. Do I want kids? Do I not want kids? Do I want kids? Do I not want kids? He goes, I spend enough afternoons around those kids, and I'm kind of glad I can just say, well, maybe not right now.
You know, Mom also does a pretty good job of screening the girlfriends these days.
Well, I tell you, that's it's not surprising this guy is as stable on the home front as he really is, and has a great influence as he does, like his mom at home, because, you know, she has done a quality job of raising this young man. This guy should be the model that other young athletes model themselves around the way he acts.
One of the NFL good guys. Approaching the 2-minute warning. Pitch to Davis. Gets to the outside. Hesitates and drives his way to the 15-yard line. Thomas Smith again forced to make the tackle on Davis. Ed McCaffrey out there gave him a block, and Davis knew what to do with it.
Hey, if you're going to model yourself on how he acts off the field, you might not be able to note what this guy can do on the field, too, because, you know, you talk about the moves and the slithering and the dithering around that some of these running backs do. I mean, his lower body never really moved. It was the upper body shifting back and forth that sort of acted as the rudder on that run.
8 yards on that one, 89 for the day. 2nd and 2 from the 15. Davis again. Dodged one man in the backfield and takes it all the way to the 9-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Denver. When we come back to Buffalo, we'll stop here for the 2-minute warning. Denver threatening to add to its lead.
It can happen in any home and in any neighborhood. It's domestic violence. I'm Steve Atwater of the Denver Broncos, and this is my wife, Lisa. The NFL and its players are concerned about the problems of domestic violence. That's why we're United Way volunteers working for the Safe House here in Denver. United Way supports more than 1,000 centers like this one here in Denver and cities across the nation.
The NFL, the United Way, and you, the power of teamwork.
Here it comes.
Good morning, men. You are the top high school football coaches in America. You understand that football is more than a game. It's a test of dedication and heart. Football is a test of character. And when an athlete leaves your program, Coach Wallace, he may not be a great player, but you have made him a great person. I offer you my highest compliment. Hats off.
The NFL congratulates Jimmy Wallace, Jeff Burris, his high school coach.
Now, if I can just get you to dress right.
2 minutes left in the half, 3-0 Denver. Well, last night, Cleveland pitcher Chad O.J. was the unlikely hero at the plate.
And he lines the ball into right field for a base hit. 1-run home. Second man being waved in. The Indians are in front 2-0.
And don't miss the ultimate Game 7 in the World Series tonight following football here on NBC.
Yeah, I like the Cleveland Indians to be the first team since the Pittsburgh Pirates of We Are Family and Willie Stargell and the guys to be down 3-2, go in the other guy's house and win those last 2 games for the World Series title. It's something in me just wants Cleveland to get a title. Maybe it's the old major, you know, the old major league films or something.
The way the series has gone so far, though, it doesn't bode well for the Miami. Yeah, the Marlins. They've alternated victories, so the Florida Marlins, it's their time tonight. We'll see. Incidentally, it's Cleveland Brown Day here in Buffalo, and some of the Cleveland Indians fans are here. Terrell Davis for the touchdown. A mile-high salute from Buffalo after a 9-yard jaunt by Terrell Davis.
You know, this is a combination of some real good blocking, some real good running, and a whole lot of want to. Because here's the good blocking up front. He's got the hole. There's the good running. And here's the good want to. Because that last yard is all Terrell Davis just saying, I want in the end zone.
And that 9-yard touchdown run puts him over 100 for the first half as Jason Elam tacks on the extra point. Terrell Davis was the workhorse on that drive, both on the ground and through the air, as he scores his 9th rushing touchdown of the season.
And this Buffalo defense has really been strong most of this half. But against Terrell Davis on previous plays and right here on that play, they were a victim of a good offensive line and the best young running back in the NFL. Denver players are not real happy about other players around the league stealing their salute, especially Tim Brown last week of the Raiders made a clutch catch on 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 12 to seal that game and got up and immediately saluted Tyrone Braxton, the safety.
Wade Phillips and his defensive unit, they discuss things with Bruce Smith, showing some of those pictures from upstairs. But the defense has not been the problem for Buffalo.
Guys, Bruce, look at that snapshot. He went where you weren't. He didn't go towards you. He went in the middle of the defense, and there weren't enough guys in blue trying to stop the guy in white.
And he took a bunch of them with him. 11 plays, 74 yards. Here's Elam with the kick. Eric Moles dropped at the 25-yard line.
Hey, but it's cold out here. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Those are his over 100-yard rushing game so far today. Another 104 yards. But Tom, he mentions, hey, Mom, I hope you're home cooking. You know, they had kind of a buffalo wings and sandwiches dinner last night when they got on here at 1 o'clock. They ate airplane food last night. Kind of a quick meal tonight. So, Mom, I hope you are cooking because he's going to be ready for some good hot food when he gets home.
If he can get over there. Todd Collins, first down pass. He continues to play tentatively. Eric Moles was covered. He threw it at his feet. Stay with us at halftime. The Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. Greg Gumbel, Chris Collinsworth, Sam White. Scores and highlights. And a report on the series. Game 7 between the Marlins and the Indians coming up tonight.
Tom, this is kind of a pick on Chris day, wasn't it? Once Chris Collinsworth mentioned the fact that he thought that Glenn Foley should be starting for the Jets, it was White got on him and Greg got on him, and then Gibbs all the way from North Carolina gets on him.
Chris is such an easy target. Collins again overthrows his intended receiver, this time Quinn Early.
You know, if you look at the scoreboard right now, there's a big ought on for the Buffalo Bills. And if you got 13 yards passing, you're well on your way to keeping that ought intact. That one isn't even close. Marv Levy's got to find some way to get this offense jump-started. I don't care if it's battery chargers to the ears. They got to get him going.
Collins somehow got away and completes the pass to Early, but short of the first down. Stop me if you've heard this one. The Buffalo offense is awful.
Chris Moore to punt. I've heard that one a little bit more often today, but yeah, that replay right there, or that play there by Todd Collins running around looked like something out of the Three Stooges. I go to my left, I go to my right. I expected to hear the old curly.
That's not what they're going to hear in the locker room at halftime, I don't think, as they're about to complete their 10th quarter in a row without a touchdown. Chris Moore. Line drive to Darian Gordon. At the point of attack, he somehow got free, but still didn't get much of a return. Sam Rogers on special teams after that 40-yard punt by Moore. Do you think that Todd Collins should stand in the pocket a little longer? He looks like he's awfully quick to come out of there. He had Andre Reed open last time.
Well, he's getting a lot of pressure. And keep one thing in mind, Tom. We're seeing Andre Reed standing all by his lonesome on the Denver sideline. Todd Collins is running for his life on the other side of the field. He's got a better chance of spotting his mom in the far stands than he does spotting Andre Reed on the field by himself.
So Reed, too, is giving up when he should have been moving to give Collins a target. He was just standing there watching the play. Terrell Davis.
Davis up the middle.
Covington and Schultz after a gain of maybe 6 yards for Terrell Davis, who has become unstoppable here lately in the second quarter. Made some key receptions as well. Timeout, Denver.
You got John Elway and Terrell Davis and the tools they have on offense, and Mike Shanahan over there talking to both his stars on the sideline. You had best, if you're Buffalo's defense, tighten it up right here. Because this offense, heck, a minute and 16 seconds, your offense can get the ball back with a minute left in the half. Because they can score on you in a heartbeat. Don't stop attacking. Don't start putting the pressure on John Elway, worrying about Terrell Davis.
Wade Phillips has done a good job in this first half of keeping that Denver offense under control, but things starting to unravel as the defense has spent most of the first half on the field. The Buffalo offense unable to get a thing going.
And the string that unraveled the mess so far has been wrapped around number 30, Terrell Davis.
Broncos have one timeout left, as you saw. Elway with no pressure now, chased from the pocket. Good coverage downfield with the Bills because Elway had time initially before the protection broke down as Phil Hansen finally got a little penetration.
Well, I got to tell you, there is no quitting Phil Hansen. Phil Hansen gets out there, and he is not going to stop until he sees John Elway completely off the field. I'm not talking about part way. I'm talking about all the way. Phil Hansen at the right defensive tackle right there. Watch Hansen at the end of the play. Elway knows he's going out of bounds. Hansen's going to be absolutely positive. That's a smart play by a defensive player, knowing Elway can still make a play late in a run like that.
Here's 3rd and 5. Davis to the outside and has the first down. He undressed Thomas Smith on that little duck to the inside and then run to the outside and picked up the first down.
When you play the Buffalo defense, you worry about Bruce Smith. There's Bruce Smith up the field. It played right into the Denver's hands that Bruce Smith was doing that. Gary Zimmerman gives them a token screen block outside, but that whole thing's coming up because they know Davis can get outside. And with a fake like that, they also know that Thomas Smith is not going to go one-on-one and just stick Terrell Davis. He's got to try to just push him out of bounds.
Gain of 12, first down Denver, 1:03 in the half. From the gun, Elway dumps it off to Davis. Breaks one tackle, but can't the second. Driven down by Thomas Smith and Marlo Perry that time. And Denver spends his final timeout.
You know, the last play, Thomas Smith couldn't tackle Terrell Davis because he caught him in the middle of a fake. In that play, he caught him in the middle of a spin. It's a lot easier to get Terrell Davis out of the spin than it is out of the fake.
When he's not looking at you, huh? With his back turned in the middle of the spin.
When you see the back of his belt, it's a lot easier to hit that than his belt buckle.
Don't forget, coming up next, most of these NBC stations, Game 2 of the doubleheader. Most of you see the Jaguars battle the Steelers. Some will see the Raiders face the Seahawks or regional action. Check your local listings for the game in your area. The doubleheader, Game 2, coming up next here on NBC. And then, of course, capped off by Game 7 of the World Series. The Florida Marlins, the Cleveland Indians, tonight.
Boy, that Jacksonville-Pittsburgh game is going to be a great scene. You know, 4 o'clock game, kind of gray skies, 2 explosive offenses, but I think 2 of the more physical defenses in the league. I mean, that's one of those games you wouldn't be surprised if it's 35-34 or 7-6.
A terrific game the first time they met in Jacksonville with a blocked field goal preserving the win for the Jaguars. Elway, second down, scrambling free. Completes it to McCaffrey. Flag down, a late one. McCaffrey is close to a first down. Tackled by Henry Jones. Check the penalty marker. Against the Broncos.
And something that Broncos line is known for is being willing to do just about anything to block people, and chop blocks sometimes go into the description of willing to do anything for Mike Shanahan's offense. And you're talking to a guy here, though, that doesn't think that's dirty football. I got 3 Super Bowl rings because you do what you have to do.
Personal foul, chop block, center and the guard, offense, 15 yards, repeat second down. By rule, we'll run 10 seconds off the clock. Please set the clock to 31 seconds.
In the inside, you got Nalen You got David Diaz Infante, 63, in for Habib at right guard. There's the chop. You know what? He chops Bruce Smith, but he unintentionally gets the defensive tackle, accidentally gets him. That was not an intentional chop by David Diaz Infante, number 63 right there. So I don't think the officials really care if Mr. Infante did that on purpose.
He makes it 2nd and 22, and they'll give the ball to Von Hebron. He's to the 40-yard line. Broncos cannot stop the clock. Bruce Smith got the tackle, and they'll just let the quarter expire here and go to the locker room with the lead. A hard-fought lead against a game Buffalo defense, but the Buffalo offense has had no success at all in the first half. And that second quarter comes to a close. Shanahan and the Broncos with a 10-0 lead on the receiving and running of Terrell Davis, breaking open in the second quarter to get the only touchdown of the game so far after Jason Elam had earlier connected on a field goal after an interception. We'll be sending you to our NFL and NBC studio in New York, but first, these words from your local station.
Tuesday, a Fraser shocker. One of these people is about to become a parent.
I don't believe it.
And the words you thought you'd never hear.
Daphne, will you marry me?
Then on Just Shoot Me, Maya's dating an older man.
That wasn't what it looked like.
Good, because it looked like you were making out with your grandpa.
Now that's scary. NBC Tuesday.
He might not actually be dead because he was never really alive.
A lot of industry experts told us that the passenger side was the best place to add a third door. We got still more advice insisting that the driver's side was the only logical choice. But as you can see, we let it all go right in one ear and out the other. Introducing the new Dodge Ram Quad Cab. The rules have changed.
They came to our planet. They destroyed our cities. But on November 7th, they'll learn they messed with the wrong species. Starship Troopers, rated R. Opens everywhere November 7th.
Ed Kilgore, part of the Channel 2 News team. This is the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Domino's, delivering 1 million smiles a day.
Along with the usual suspects, Chris Collinsworth and Sam Weish, I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome to our studio in New York, everyone. Let's run down scores and highlights for you of first half action so far today, beginning with the game that you're watching in Buffalo, where the Broncos are leading it by a score of 10-0 and some of the worst hats you will see all season long on the fans in Orchard Park. Scoreless game in the first, milestone for Bruce Smith. He sacks John Elway to become the first player in NFL history with double-digit sacks in 11 seasons. Still scoreless in the second. Bills quarterback Todd Collins puts this one up for grabs. Tyrone Braxton says thank you kindly. He returns 22 yards to the Buffalo 28, led to a Jason Elam field goal and a 3-0 Denver lead. And then Terrell Davis. What a season he's having, and not a bad day either. Up the middle, 9 yards and a touchdown. He's over 100 yards rushing in the first half. Denver leads at this point by a score of 10-0, and for Terrell Davis, 21 carries, 123 yards and a touchdown. What problems for the Denver Broncos traveling all night?
Just maybe next time they're trying to keep up everybody the entire evening the way Terrell Davis is going. This is absolutely unbelievable. 123 yards. And this isn't some Pop Warner defense out there. Here's a team in the Buffalo Bills with Bruce Smith and Spielman and Pop and those guys. This is one of the top defenses in football, and he simply is running right through them.
All right, in Philadelphia, the Dallas Cowboys hold a 9-0 lead on the Philadelphia Eagles at halftime, but they have lost quarterback Troy Aikman to a strained neck. A possibility of a concussion. It would be yet another in a long line of them for Troy, and you have to wonder when things are going to break right for Dallas.
But you know, the good news is that Wade Wilson has come in off the bench here and has played very well. Really, the Dallas Cowboys should be blowing them out in this football game. The red zone problems continue for Dallas. but they are simply dominating this game to this point.
All right, Chris, in the Meadowlands, the New York Giants trail the Cincinnati Bengals 14-10. Jim Fossil's Giants riding a 4-game winning streak. 3-0 Giants. Bengals opening possession. Corey Dillon from a yard out puts the Bengals up 7-3. Second quarter now, after a pass interference call in the end zone, Charles Way of the Giants from 1 yard out, and the Giants are up 10-7. And then the ensuing kickoff, Eric Bieniemy, 2 yards deep in the end zone, finds a hole, breaks through. Brad DeLuiso is the only guy between him and the goal line. No problem. 102 yards and a touchdown. That's a Bengals team record, and Cincinnati on top by a score of 14-10. Sam, the Bengals looking better today.
Well, it was about time, and had Bieniemy been tackled with that effort, he really had a lot of conversation next week. You knew this was going to happen, though. This is mid-season. It's a pride check time. The Bengals are coming through for this. But this may be the most important halftime talk that Jim Fassel's given all year.
All right, Sam, in Washington, Jack Kent Cooke Stadium, the Bengals and the Redskins and the Ravens lead it by a touchdown. That's Coach Ted Marchibroda of Baltimore calling on his team to get tougher after 3 straight losses. Vinny Testaverde gets the offense going for the opening drive. Derek Alexander, 13 yards and a touchdown and a 7-0 Raven lead. Redskins answer right back. Gus Frerotte pumps again, finds Leslie Shepard, 15 yards, tie game at 7. Second quarter, Bam Morris caps a 22-play drive with a 4-yard touchdown run. Baltimore regains the lead. Bam Morris over 100 yards rushing in the first half, and the Ravens lead it by a touchdown. In New Orleans, the 6-1 49ers lead the 2-6 Rams 13-0. And in St. Louis, Kansas City on top of the Rams by a 17-7 count. Marty Schottenheimer's Chiefs looking for franchise win number 300. 3-0 Kansas City in the first. Tony Banks, 13 yards to Isaac Bruce. That puts the Rams up 7-3. 7-6 St. Louis in the second. Elvis Gerbach to Lake Dawson in the end zone. 21-yard touchdown catch. And the Chiefs, after the 2-point conversion, 14-7. A Stoyanovich field goal has them on top of the perhaps troublesome, with Isaac Bruce looking very good today, St. Louis Rams.
He is, but you know, there's a lake effect with Carnell Lake there in Buffalo today, the Pittsburgh's defensive back. And, of course, Lake Dawson is making the big catches for Kansas City. Kansas City may be the quietest 6-2 football team out there this year. On the other side, the Rams, they constantly make the little mistakes. Tony Banks is saying, hey, I can't hear. Suddenly there's a delay of game, 5-yard penalty. They got to cut that out.
All right, Sam. One other note for you from the world of football. Rankin Smith, the 72-year-old owner of the Atlanta Falcons, died today of heart failure in Atlanta. Our condolences go out to his family. When we come back, a report on Game 7 of the World Series will take you down to Miami right after these words from your local station.
NBC Wednesday is must-screen TV. Somebody make that music stop! The Third Rock Night of Terror.
Harry, you're an alien.
I am not! With pumpkin guts and a thing that lives in the wall.
Who are you going to call this? Ghostbusters!
This could be the Halloween that goes too far.
Run, lady, they're crazy!
Third Rock followed by working NBC Wednesday.
A woman brought in dying. Her surgeon is suspected in a gruesome crime.
They were getting ready to take her organs out before she was declared dead.
Ripped from the headlines. Law and Order, NBC Wednesday.
You've got the time. The future's bright. Why not enjoy life? The dreams inside.
Head for the future in a new 98 DeVille with the North Star system. Because right now you can lease a quick, nimble DeVille for only $4.99 a month.
Now there's a reason, and it's so pleasing for making whoopee.
See the Empire State Cadillac dealers.
You're watching WGRZ-TV Buffalo, NBC in Western New York.
The Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC Halftime Report. Brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Domino's, delivering a million smiles a day.
Greg Gumbel back in our New York studio. We called last weekend Must-See Weekend. Today is Must-See Sunday. The second half of our NFL doubleheader features the big AFC Central matchup in Pittsburgh between the Steelers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And following football at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, two of the most magical words in sports. Game 7. The World Series comes to a fitting climax in Miami. The Florida Marlins and the Cleveland Indians. With a report, Hannah Storm, Keith Olbermann, and Barry Larkin.
Thanks, Greg. The stadium sits empty now, but in a little more than 5 hours, this will be the center of the sports world. And more than 67,000 fans will be here for what is considered the greatest game in sports, Game 7. We're joined by Reds All-Star shortstop Barry Larkin. His thoughts on tonight's game in just a few moments. But first, Keith, Mike Hargrove making a big decision for today's game.
And another second-generation major leaguer in the spotlight. Hargrove made a bold decision to start his 21-year-old rookie Jarrett Wright in Cleveland's biggest game in nearly 50 years. And moments after Wright learned he was officially starting, we talked about his improbable season. The season opened with you doing what on opening day?
I was pitching for the Akron Arrows in Double-A, and you know, it was opening night there. It was just, you know, I was happy at the time. And
the season ends with you
tomorrow throwing Game 7 of the series, and it's been a long road. It's been fun. I'm having a great time. You know, just one more time.
It's been a long road. You got a long way, but it happened kind of fast, didn't it? In 1 year to go from pitching the Double-A opener in the Eastern League to pitching the 7th game of the World Series?
Yeah, that's a long road to me. We had a lot of bus rides and you know.
Hey, I've been to the Eastern League. I know.
A lot of different apartments moving around, and you know, hopefully I can settle in here and settle in tomorrow.
His manager Mike Hargrove says Jarrett Wright is not cocky. He has the blissful ignorance of youth.
Meanwhile, on the other side, the Marlins start Al Leiter, who had a rough outing previously in the World Series. Never know what to expect from this guy, Barry.
That's the thing about Al Leiter. He can come out and walk the ballpark, or he can go out and throw a shutout. And I think the thing to look for is that if he is ineffective early, he'll get the quick hook.
Perhaps we could see their rookie, Livan Hernandez, early in this game. Okay, who do you like?
Well, you know, I got to play both these guys next year. You know, we got to face Indians in interleague play, and, you know, we got to come down here. So I'm going to ride the fence on this one.
Oh, you're not going to pick either one. Okay, well, we will find out soon enough. Our pregame coverage starts at 7 o'clock Eastern. Now let's get it back to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Well, the Cleveland Indians have waited 49 years to win a World Series, and they're handing the ball to 21-year-old Jarrett Wright. It should be interesting. Our NFL and NBC halftime activities continue.
Halftime in Buffalo, where the Broncos are pitching a shutout, 10-0 over Buffalo at halftime, and it's just been a case of inept offense for the Buffalo Bills. What can they do to try to get it started?
Well, two things. They can run the ball. 44 yards is all they've had in the first half. And second thing is, you know, Bill Parcells last week yanked Neil O'Donnell looking for a spark with Glenn Foley. I would yank Todd Collins if he doesn't start well in the second half and get Alex Van Pelt in there and hope he can make a difference.
And meanwhile, Terrell Davis has begun to make his presence known, not only running the ball, but receiving as well.
Oh, without it. I mean, he has been the offense. We've been saying it in the weeks leading up to this, but this is Terrell Davis's offense. When this offense works right, it's because Terrell Davis has got it all going on.
Take a look at our Coors Light halftime stats. And we'll see total dominance, I think, by the Denver Broncos against the 3 first-down production of the Buffalo Bills offense in the first yard, only 55 total yards.
Well, it's a great speed limit, but not much of an offensive production. And when you have 4 times as many rushing yards as you have passing yards, ouch.
They raised that limit, didn't they? Buffalo didn't get the message yet, I don't think.
Well, it's just a situation. I think the offensive line for Buffalo at times has had a few problems. And I think Todd Collins at other times has just not so much forced balls, but kind of aimed them at times. And that's led to interceptions. That's led to overthrows.
The only touchdown of the game was the result of a Terrell Davis run. And in fact, he set up with a big pass reception early.
All by his lonesome.
All right. And here's the touchdown run from 9 yards.
And what's the 97 Broncos offensive touchdown without the mile-high salute at the end? Well, you just look at what he's done just by himself. 21 rushes already in the first half. 3 times as many rushes and a whole lot more than that in yards.
And here's the second half kick by Jason Elam. Eric Moulds from the 7. Fumble. And Denver still scrambling. They had it for a moment. And now they have it for good. Moulds fumble on the return.
Well, so much for halftime adjustments for the Buffalo Bills. After talking about what are you going to do when you get out there at your first opportunity, Eric Moulds puts that ball on the ground, all because Darius Johnson knocks that ball loose and causes the fumble. Then it's just a mad scramble and a dog pile for the ball. But watch Darius Johnson, 25, floor at the end, strip the ball away from Moulds. And, I mean, that's just lack of concentration by a returner. I don't care if he doesn't see him or not. You don't drop the ball.
From the 21, first down, Broncos, Terrell Davis. And Davis bursting free for a moment to the 14-yard line. Kurt Schultz stopping him at that point.
You know, we've all in the media made the comment about Marcus Allen in Kansas City having that extra couple of years off at Oakland, resting his legs. Is this going to extend John Elway's career and a life on his arm, resting his arm, and letting Terrell Davis run this much?
Interesting that Bryce Popp, talking to us yesterday, said it's come to this, that Terrell Davis is the man you have to stop, not John Elway. Who thought you would ever hear that? Davis fights his way to the 10-yard line and has a Denver first down.
Well, really, the problem Buffalo's defense has, and most defenses have against Elway and the Broncos, is you're picking your poison. You know, do you want the slow death? You want to be beaten by run slowly, or do you want to be beaten by the pass quickly? And Wade Phillips' defense has done a fine job in the first half, but they were put in so many bad positions, they can only hold out so long against these weapons.
Davis, 3 yards. Damian Covington grabbed him. 3-yard gain. After the fumble of the second half kickoff by Eric Moulds, Terrell Davis and the Broncos trying to punch it in. 138 yards on the ground now for Davis. He's also made 4 catches in the game.
And he's also going to very soon make short work of the 1,000-yard mark in rushing.
On the pitch, look at that move. He's to the 4-yard line, maybe the 3. Could have been tackled for a loss, and he used that excellent balance to just spurt up the field. Damian Covington finally got him down.
You talk about the strength and quality of character. Part of quality of character is the want to, because that play is stopped. And the want to at the end is what pounds the defenders and actually pounds his own guy. Mark Schlereth, number 69, right there, gets that shoulder into the hip. He launches his own lineman into the end zone.
From the 3-yard line, it's third down. That's Davis in motion, backfield empty. Elway to pass. All day, and he finally decides to run and is stopped for a loss by Phil Hansen. Lost a yard.
Elway sacked by Phil Hansen.
So the Denver offense unable to punch it in. Elam will come out for a field goal attempt. And that is another gutsy series for the Buffalo defense, preventing the touchdown and what could have been disaster as far as this game is concerned.
I mean, it's a huge, already a huge success, and you've noted earlier that Jason Elam's been struggling, and this is a defense, too, very good at blocking kicks, but to hold this offense to 3 points here is huge for this defense.
23-yard attempt, and Elam boots it through. Well, Phillips' defense held him to 3, but can the offense get started? We'll find out.
Da, da, da. 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 Ich lieb dich nicht, du liebst mich nicht. Aha. Ich lieb mich nicht, du liebst mich nicht. Aha. Ich lieb dich nicht, du liebst dich nicht. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. Da, da, da.
The German-engineered Volkswagen Golf. It fits your life, or your complete lack thereof. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
So where's our leader?
She'll be here. She's meeting with someone about her personal finances.
Wait a minute, the chief financial officer needs financial help.
home.
I think it's our life insurance agent.
Really? So, what's the agent's name?
When you find out, let me know.
Have you heard from the Quiet Company? Northwestern Mutual Life.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By Schick, the feel of smart design. By Northwestern Mutual Life. Have you heard from the Quiet Company? And by Texaco, a world of energy.
From the power of Niagara to the power of Terrell Davis. He's passed 1,000 yards rushing on the season. He had 1,100 as a rookie, 1,500 last year, and now in the 8th game of the season, 1,002 with 142 yards already in this game. Flag down. Derek Holmes fields the kickoff. Moulds was not in there after fumbling the last one, and Holmes fights his way to the 35-yard line. A good return. It was Tasker and Holmes deep that time as Moulds lost his job.
That flag is back there in the area of offsides on a kickoff team.
That's exactly what it is.
I tell you, you saw Holmes run with the ball like that. That is what they need. A little of that want to we've seen out of Terrell Davis. We got to see some Buffalo Bill want to out of the offense.
Offside on the kicking team. Number 31, penalties decline. First down, Buffalo.
Antoine Smith will start in the backfield for this second half. He's back there with Lonnie Johnson, who is in an H-back spot. Collins on first down, batted down. That was Keith Traylor that knocked it to the turf. And the boos start to ring out.
And lack of success does nothing to add to an offense that the head coach talks about them struggling with their confidence when those little things start going wrong. Because that is not a bad pass by Todd Collins. That one just gets knocked down. That affects confidence.
Antoine Smith, no blocking there. Somehow he pushes forward to the 40. Keith Traylor trips him up at that spot. That was a 4-yard gain.
That was a combination of that burst and that lower body strength I talked about earlier from Antoine. And also Reuben Brown, his offensive guard, was somewhere in that jumble.
Oh, that Aikman for the Cowboys out with a concussion. And you see the other scores.
After all the talk of Steve Young and his concussions, Troy Aikman has threatened in the past about concussions ending his career.
3rd and long for the Bills. Collins, complete. It'll be a Buffalo first down. Catch made by Andre Reed. Hit immediately by Tyrone Braxton, but Reed, using that veteran savvy, had just enough for the first down.
We've seen Andre Reed taken out of the offense in the first half by a combination of defenses. Here you use one receiver in Eric Moulds crossing first, gets inside on the zone with Andre Reed to get him in this first down reception area. This is what the offense needs. They need positive successes.
Only the 4th first down for the Bills. Here's a draw play to Smith, who crosses midfield to the 48 of the Broncos, wrapped up by Bill Rowanowski. And the sellout crowd, the first sellout in Buffalo since in over a year, suddenly starting to find something to cheer about. The loudest cheer of the day was for that first down just a moment ago. You see the sellout crowd here, including about 10,000 fans from Cleveland on Cleveland Browns Day here in Buffalo.
Yeah, they've got a band from Massillon, Ohio. Washington High School is here, so it's on the Cleveland Brown theme. They even got the guy of the Big Dog somewhere in the stand.
Collins deep down the sideline and broken up. Intended for Quinn Early. Tim McKyer was with him stride for stride and able to knock the ball away.
You know, that's one thing Tim McKyer has always been able to do through his career, is man-on-man coverage. He came into the NFL as a rookie, you know, bragging, you know, I'm the blanket coverage. He's done it for a lot of teams, and he's done it that well everywhere he's been. I mean, that's how a defensive back coach teaches it, Tom.
Beautifully played by the veteran McKyer, who has interceptions against 6 different NFL teams.
the impact this defense needed when they brought Neil Smith over from the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's the impact everyone expected him to add to this offense. Working against Jerry Ostrowski, making his second start at offensive tackle. That is pure leverage and speed. And the quarterback happens to scramble and move into the worst possible spot. And Neil Smith's going to hit one out of here.
Chris Moore hits one toward Darian Gordon. Takes it at the 13. And it's buried. Flag down. Could be a face mask coming up.
Gordon return.
Marlo Perry may be the guilty party. Let's see.
44-yard line.
And now they're saying against Denver. Let's wait for the call. It will be against the Broncos.
Illegal block in the back above the waist. 22 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal. Timeout.
Von Hebron with the illegal block. The big Neil Smith put a hurt on the Buffalo offense, and the Broncos still lead the Bills.
The feel of smart design is the feel of flexibility. Shift Tracer FX is the only razor that flexes to cover every sensitive curve. A design so smart, you can feel it. Schick, the feel of smart design.
Oh, what is this now? Looks like a menu or something. Great.
We can't solve every hassle you encounter on the road, but we're working on it. Introducing the Volkswagen 2-year no-hassle lease. No-charge schedule maintenance, a super sweet warranty, and roadside assistance.
Oh, that's got it looking real good.
Right now, a Jetta GL is only $199 a month with $21.29 due at lease signing. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
It'll come off.
Rocks. Some people skip them, stack them, or just plain ignore them. But then there's these Texaco people. They love the darn things. Obsess over them. Go to the ends of the earth to find them. They study them. They scale them. Even taste them. Why? You find the right rocks. You find the energy the world needs to keep on running. Texaco, a world of energy.
Terrell Davis now has had 600-yard rushing games this season. Week 4 against the Bengals, he became the first Bronco to rush for more than 200 yards. His total 215 that day, and then followed up 2 weeks later, shredding the Patriots for 171 yards on 32 carries. And today against the Buffalo Bills, his 6th 100-yard rushing day. Here he is, Terrell Davis. To the 15-yard line. Gain of 7. Damian Covington makes the tackle of Davis.
And in both those big games, he had big runs. And this one so far, he's had one medium-sized run of 20-something, 30 yards, but he's done it just battering teams. And especially last year in 1996, when you see that 1,500 yards, he did a lot of that in 8, 10-yard chunks.
2nd and 3. Davis. Didn't make it. Nice play again by Damian Covington. He is one of the bright lights for Buffalo today.
And that's an example of that's what happens when want to meet just veteran, tenacious want to also. You know, Bruce Smith fighting off a double team. Does a little posterior stop with his backside, helping Covington out on that one.
And timeout. You saw Bruce Smith signaling for the timeout. Big 3rd down play coming up when we return to Buffalo.
You the new intern?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Kind of a cost analysis. I think we're spending too much on office supplies, and I found a way to save us a lot of money.
Uh-huh. You know what? There's another project I need you for.
Okay.
This is going to save us a lot of money. Good thinking.
Thanks.
I'm almost done.
Oh, I see you've met my daughter.
Save money at Staples. Get guaranteed low prices on over 7,000 office supplies. Staples. Yeah, we've got that.
This is the sound of commitment. The planes, trucks, and people of UPS in action, giving you more on-time delivery options than anybody else. Whether it's same day, overnight, 2-day, 3-day, ground, international. In other words, whatever you need to move your business.
Thanks.
UPS, moving at the speed of business.
So I guess there's no point in passing him or anything. I would, but as soon as I do, he's going to make his move. So it's a trap.
We can't solve every hassle you encounter on the road, but we're working on it. Introducing the Volkswagen 2-year no-hassle lease. No-charge schedule maintenance, a super sweet warranty, and roadside assistance. Right now, a Jetta GL is only $199 a month with $21.29 due at lease signing.
He's good. He's really good.
On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Today on the NFL on NBC, Denver's rising star Terrell Davis reflected on the joys of playing in the NFL.
Game ball for TD and the offensive line.
These are really the prime times of my life. I think these are the days that I'm going to cherish most, playing football, and I'm having a ball.
Don't miss the NFL on NBC next Sunday.
Now here's 14 Buffalo Bill defenders. The problem is, and why the timeout was called, it would seem, is they weren't sure the right 3 guys were leaving the field, and they weren't willing to take a chance against this offense.
Davis stopped. Chris Spielman with a penetration to stop Terrell Davis, and the Broncos will have to punt. Big series by Wade Phillips' defense.
And how good could this football team be if it had an offense? I didn't even say a good offense. If they had an offense that could score some points and give this defense some support, they could be dangerous.
Tom Ruin will punt just in front of his own end zone. Jeff Burris drifts back from the 35. Straight up the middle, Burris was within one man of breaking it. The one man, Randy Hilliard, saved the touchdown. Let's see if that can ignite Buffalo. A 50-yard punt, but a good return.
Still shaving with blades. We know how you feel about that. The Norelco Reflex Action Razor. Anything closer could be too close for comfort. It has a lubricating comfort strip. And for a lot of guys, that's not much comfort. The Norelco Reflex Action Razor. Anything closer could be too close for comfort.
Oh, hi, honey. Am I excited about Thursday? Of course, Thursday's our anniversary.
Of course I planned a trip. Yeah, we're taking the Orient Express to spot in Thailand for bird watching. Love you too. Bye.
New Visa Platinum.
Did you go to Thailand?
With a world of purchase power for the unexpected, including that trip you never thought you'd take.
This is such a surprise.
Yeah, New Visa Platinum. It's everywhere you want to be.
Okay, this guy's gonna do it. This guy's my guy. Okay, lady.
We can't solve every hassle you encounter on the road, but we're working on it. Introducing the Volkswagen 2-year no-hassle lease. No-charge schedule maintenance, a super sweet warranty, and roadside assistance.
Just wake me when we're moving, okay? What, like I'm trying to...
99. Right now, a Jetta GL is only $199 a month with $21.29 due at lease signing.
Oh, now that hurts.
On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
That one really hurts.
You're watching the NFL on NBC.
No, field level, look. Up high, it looked close. Down low, it looked hard.
But will it look good for Buffalo? Jeff Burris hopes so. Good field position. Can the offense do anything with it? 47 of Denver. Collins completes the pass. Quinn Early, taken out of bounds immediately by Ray Crockett.
A couple of good confidence passes by Todd Collins in this offense. Remember, Quinn earlier dropped the pass right through his hands, but a good pass there by Collins and a nice catch. Confidence being the key word with this Buffalo offense.
Thurman Thomas cuts back, comes up a yard short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1.
You know, Thurman Thomas still has those quick feet. You could almost, actually, I could hear that squeaking sound. I mean, low, slow, stumbling feet like I had, you can't make them squeak. I got to get on a hardwood floor to make them squeak. And he can do it on wet AstroTurf.
No huddle offense, trying to shake things up. Thurman Thomas driving and thrown back. He will not make the yard they needed. So now it's 4th down, and Marv Levy's faced with a decision here.
I think you go for it. You really do. You've got the defense playing the way it is. At this situation, Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator there on the right side, he's calling the plays, and you got to go for it here. Your offense needs the confidence. You need a first down. Besides that, your defense needs to see your offense can do something.
3 tight ends, Antoine Smith, the lone running back. Here's Smith. He's got the first down. Nearly had a lot more. Darian Gordon tripped him up.
That's what Marv Levy and Dan Henning up here is talking about. You physically do your blocking with Lonnie Johnson and Remersma. You've got the young, strong running back in Smith taking that first shot, but not letting that stop him from getting the first down.
Spot the ball at the Bronco 33. First down, Buffalo. 4.5 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter. 13-0 Denver. Play action fake. Collins. Reed drops it.
Wow, after that, Andre Reed must feel like just keep running right through the tunnel. You hate to even go back to the huddle after that. We've talked about Collins not making many good passes. This one is perfect. And he looked that one all the way into his chest. You hear it all the time, though. You catch with your hands. And that ball hit the numbers before it ever got to the hands.
Collins saw a sure touchdown fall through the hands of Andre Reed. Now it's 2nd and 10. Intercepted. Traylor is going to go all the way for the touchdown.
Tom, that's a 14-point turnaround. Dan Henning's offense just saw the drop by Reed and the 6 by Traylor.
You can put a pretty good set of goat horns on Andre Reed for this entire game.
Trying to throw the quick screen pass to Thurman Thomas. Bounces off Thurman into Traylor's hands. This is fantasy camp here. Only thing that makes it more of a fantasy camp is an offensive lineman had it, but this is Traylor hearkening back to Pop Warner or Little League or high school, whenever the last time it was he carried the ball.
Elam's extra point is good. It's the 4th touchdown this season scored by the Denver defense. You're watching the NFL on NBC.
Teammates sponsored by the U.S. Army. Be part of our team in the Army.
Let's take this thing. Let's smother them. Let's go.
Coach Marty Schottenheimer's Chiefs have 2 of the best quarterbacks in the league in veterans Dale Carter and James Hasty.
Play action fake. Hunter's hit. He fumbles. Kansas City, James Hasty has it. Nobody's going to catch James Hasty.
These high-flying defenders are a big reason the Chiefs are off to a lofty start this year.
It's freezing. It's quiet. But you get used to it. You grow to love it.
Snowfox 2-1. This is Snowfox base.
Snowfox 2-1. Then a storm comes up. And I'm the one who's got to get us out of here. And I remember who gave me courage. This is for them. For my mom and dad, who never missed a game. For Drill Sergeant McCardle, who showed me what it takes to be a leader.
Visual contact, Sergeant.
And for myself, who became one.
Dave Thomas is on the coast, asking everyone about Wendy's new fresh stuffed pitas.
Your pitas are dreamy, Dave.
I thought you liked them.
Wendy's fresh stuffed pitas, the only way to describe them is
Fabulous.
How could anything this breathtaking be created from a $199 printer? Canon's BJC 4300 color bubble jet printer. See it, and you'll believe it.
Monday, hold everything. It's a special Frasier. Yeah, you heard right. A special Monday Frasier. Plus an all-new Fired Up. And a creepy Caroline. Followed by Suddenly Susan at a special time.
I must be dreaming!
You're not. Frasier's kicking off a special Monday lineup on NBC. Party on.
And Todd Collins trying to catch Keith Traylor and pull him down. And the big man rambled 62 yards with the touchdown. Eric Holmes returns the kick to the 25-yard line. Well, the Broncos defense now has scored 4 touchdowns this season. Week 2 against the Seahawks, Darian Gordon with a pickoff, 32 yards for the score. Week 4, the Bengals sack on Jeff Blake, forcing the fumble. Alfred Williams scoops it up, and Alfred takes it 49 yards for the touchdown and the spike. Week 6 against the Patriots, John Mobley's interception of Drew Bledsoe returned 13 yards for Denver's 3rd touchdown by the defense this season. And then Keith Traylor, just a moment ago, 62 yards for the 4th defensive touchdown of the season. New quarterback for the Bills, Alex Van Pelt. Hand off to Antoine Smith. Antoine Smith bursting free, still on his feet to midfield, and the 49 of the Broncos tracked down there by John Mobley.
You know, we've seen the strength of Antoine Smith, and he finally got the hole and got the blocking to show you that burst and the speed. I've used that term a lot, talking about Terrell Davis, but he doesn't hit the hole any faster than this young man at the University of Houston. This is a big running back that can flat bring it.
He brought it 25 yards that time. First down, Buffalo. Van Pelt for his first pass under the blitz, sets up the screen, and Antoine Smith takes it back to the line of scrimmage, maybe forward for a yard before he's tackled by Alfred Williams. Penalty marker down. It's against Denver.
So a hit on the quarterback, hit on Van Pelt after he released that ball.
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback. A blow to the head. Number 23, defense, 15 yards, first down.
Darian Gordon welcoming Alex Van Pelt.
Well, we saw Gordon blitz earlier on Todd Collins. Here's another blitz, but look at the shot right up into the face mask, into that chin area. Very sensitive nowadays. Remember, when Romanowski hit Kerry Collins of Carolina earlier this year, the Romanowski, the Denver linebacker, broke his jaw. You cannot go to the head.
Van Pelt for Reed. Knocked away. Good defense. And a salute from the defense by Ray Crockett. Well, Andre Reed dropped a sure touchdown, as you said, a 14-point turnaround after it went the other way. And earlier in the first half, we saw him not really giving a target to his quarterback.
Well, he does the job there. I'm sorry, folks, if you're in Buffalo watching that, that is not pass interference. Crockett does a nice job of just cozying up to Andre Reed and knocking that ball away.
2nd and 10. Van Pelt flips it to Johnson. The big tight end is bumped out of bounds by John Mobley. Todd Collins on the sideline after having the interception taken back for a touchdown. 7 of 18 on the day, only 35 yards, and 2 of them picked off.
If you wanted to be fair about it, though, you should take Andre Reed and sit his little butt on the bench, too, for a little while for dropping that touchdown pass, because that one had nothing to do with the quarterback Collins.
Van Pelt under the rush, got rid of it to Lonnie Johnson, and Johnson with a determined run. He's to the 25-yard line. To me, Alex Van Pelt looks much more confident, much more poised than Todd Collins.
But do you realize how similar that play was to the one that got returned for a touchdown when Thurman Thomas hit it and knocked it up?
4th down, a yard to go. Buffalo, of course, will go for it with 3 tight ends, Johnson, Klein, and Remersma, and Antoine Smith in the backfield.
No mystery about this. This is muscle against muscle.
Looks like Denver was offside. It'll be 1st down by penalty. If it indeed is offside and not illegal procedure.
So Michael Dean Perry gave our referee Ron Blum a little shot there and inadvertently knocked his head off.
Offside, 90 defense. 5 yards, 1st down.
Neil Smith.
You know, a lot of that is that's a new quarterback. It's a new cadence. Maybe Van Pelt's just got more of a bite in his bark. Well, at least Neil Smith went for the bite and the bark.
It's 1st down, Buffalo.
But Denver defensive line, I think defensively has been the highlight for the Denver Broncos. This is where they have to swell up and stop this offense.
Antoine Smith. Well, Alex Van Pelt obviously has done his homework. You remember the story about Billy Joe Hobart. Todd Collins injured in the 1st half against New England. Billy Joe came in, quickly threw 2 interceptions as the Bills were swamped by the New England Patriots. And afterwards, Billy Joe saying he really hadn't studied. And he apologized, and the next day he was gone, cut by the Bills. And what that did was have every backup quarterback in the league get back to their lessons.
It's unfortunate, but that's now known as doing the Billy Joe.
Van Pelt. Johnson can't make the diving catch. I don't know if that was tipped at the line of scrimmage or not. May have been, or may have just been short from Van Pelt.
You know, that's also a case where you got those defensive linemen with their arms up. You're trying to throw that ball through a forest of arms.
Van Pelt in his 2nd season from Pittsburgh.
See, Michael Dean's arms coming up there. You've got Neil Smith's arms coming up there. You concentrate on the arms, and the ball comes up short on the throw because the ball was not tipped.
Van Pelt had attempted only 30 career passes coming into this appearance. Stays in the pocket for the end zone. Caught. Eric Moles held out of the end zone by Darian Gordon, but it'll be 1st and goal.
Not only good play call, but excellent execution all the way around. Quarterback, offensive line, wide receiver. That's efficiency and crispness we have not seen out of the Buffalo offense until during this drive.
14-yard gain, 1st and goal from the 2. Antoine Smith wrapped up and taken down by Mike Lodish as the 3rd quarter comes to a close. Buffalo Bills showing signs of life. Is it too little too late? We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station.
This Halloween weekend, man's 3 greatest predators have been unleashed.
There's something out there.
House of Frankenstein, Sunday Halloween weekend on NBC.
This isn't just a car. It's a sign of how far you've come. So if it gets damaged, who do you want on your side? At Nationwide Insurance, we guarantee that your car will be fixed just the way it should be. Because we wouldn't have it any other way.
Nationwide is on your side.
There are cars that are built to appeal to your passionate side and your practical side. For the passionate, cab-forward design, Argent aluminum wheels, Air V6 engine, and at no extra charge, a new luxurious leather-trimmed interior with an 8-way power driver's seat. Now for the practical side, the new Chrysler Cirrus LXi with all this is just $18,495, loaded. Now get $1,500 cash back or 1.9% financing, only at your Chrysler dealer.
The Shaners can expect a lot now that they have M&T Select. they can expect free checks, free online banking. They can expect CD bonus rates and mortgage discounts. They can expect all of this and more with unparalleled personal attention. All of which will be quite helpful now that they're, well, expecting. M&T Select. Banking beyond your expectations. Only at M&T Bank. All the bank you'll ever need.
Ed Kilgore, part of the Channel 2 News team. Cast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL is prohibited.
Tom Hammond, Randy Cross, ready to start the fourth quarter in Buffalo with the Bills trailing Denver 20-0. Buffalo with a 2nd and goal from the Denver 5 after that last run by Antoine Smith lost 2 yards. Alex Van Pelt at quarterback for the Bills. Fumble recovered by the Broncos. Steve Atwater. And that takes care of that.
Marv Levy's offense and his new quarterback, Alex Van Pelt, was looking at an all-out, coming at you. As many guys as I can get in the box, I'm bringing. I'm blitzing, I'm blitzing, I'm blitzing. He gets back clean, but the ball just comes right out of his hand. I don't know if he caught the wet spot of the ball on the snap or what. Watch as he drops back. What happens to the ball? He goes to throw, and as Antoine Smith moves up to block on Romanowski, he hits the ball out of Van Pelt's hands.
So Van Pelt had him moving, but once again, they can't score. It's been 11 quarters since Buffalo scored a touchdown. Terrell Davis gets the call, and Denver now already today they've gotten 13 points off Buffalo turnovers, 2 field goals and a touchdown.
A 2-yard gain, 2nd down, 8.
Meanwhile, John Elway closing in on 50,000 yards of total offense. Needed 150 coming in, now at 49,950.
I'll tell you what, though, you are going to see nothing but Terrell Davis in your face out of this offense, I think, from here on out.
Here's an Elway pass, maybe. He's going to run instead and takes it for a gain of a yard. Bruce Smith made the play.
A little 2-yard add onto the total of John Elway so far, and you know he'd like to get that mark, but I think he'd rather get it throwing the ball than he would be trying to run for that extra 100 or so yards.
How long do you think it's been since we could make this statement? John Elway has not thrown a pass in the second half.
Wow. Probably the last time he was hurt.
There it is, one, and it is complete to Rod Smith. Henry Jones tackles Smith. Well, the way Terrell Davis has been chewing up the yardage, they haven't needed the aerial game today. Meanwhile, their defense has been stifling the Buffalo offense. It's been a formula for success that the Broncos hope will pay off in their 7th win of the season.
Well, like I said earlier, Tom, with the Broncos offense, you pick your poison, and they picked that poison right there, Terrell Davis, and that poison's moving through their bloodstream pretty good right now and about to take effect.
It is deadly. Elway's pass intercepted. Kurt Schultz picked it off. The pass was high from Elway. Gabe Northern was putting on the pressure. Elway tried to get it to Shannon Sharp, and it was right into the arms of Kurt Schultz.
We mentioned not many passes out of John Elway, just on his first of the second half. Remember, timing and touch. It's a little cold. You haven't done it much. The timing's off, the touch is off, and it's Buffalo ball.
I think Northern might have deflected it slightly, too, for the interception. Buffalo's defense says if the offense can't score, maybe we can do something. They've given it over to their offensive teammates in good position. Here's a reverse. Andre Reed. Maybe a yard.
I'll be honest with you, Tom. You've got to attack when you're running a reverse like that. Don't dance. Don't do that. You got blockers out in front of you. Just go. Don't look for a spot. There's no spot. You're down by this many points. Just get it. Right here. Take the ball. You've got Van Pelt in front of you. You've got blockers in front of you. Just get up the field and get positive yards.
Van Pelt. Reed. Touchdown. "27 yards. Reed was wide open and held on despite a vicious shot."
And they got Reed free the way they've got it most of the time. They used different receivers, crossing in front, free him in the secondary. The big hit is late by Atwater, and Alex Van Pelt looks strong, looks confident, and puts it on the hands of his receiver, Reed.
Steve Christie with the extra point. It's good, and the long drought, which covered 11 quarters, is over. The Bills have scored a touchdown. Van Pelt is the man.
The Mitsubishi Eclipse Spider GST.
Vorrei del pane tostato.
Vorrei del pane tostato.
The perfect way to express yourself in any language.
Dove sono le valigie?
Dove sono le valigie?
Buon gusto, sei bella e parli italiano.
Buon tos, vorrei una fetta de valigie. Ciao.
The Eclipse Spider and Coupe. Mirage and 3000 GT. The family of sports cars from Mitsubishi. Built for living.
The Colonel's Crispy Strips and Spicy Buffalo Crispy Strips are boneless, all-white meat chicken, good for any time. And for when you have no time at all. Now get 3 crispy strips, 2 sides, and a biscuit in this month's $2.99 to-go meal.
If you love chocolate, peanuts, caramel, and especially Reese's peanut butter, good news. Reese's Nutrageous bars are now 20% bigger.
This ice cream has walnuts in it.
Yes.
And it's got peaches in it.
Yes.
Peaches and walnuts.
Never been done before.
Well, what does that tell you?
That I should have stayed an engineer?
Retirement these days is anything you make of it, even ice cream. That's why Aetna Retirement Services gives you the tools to not only build assets, but manage them as well. Aetna, build for retirement, manage for life.
Hey, Kiwi Raisin was a big hit.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by the 97 Mitsubishi Eclipse. It makes waves, built for living. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. And by Aetna Retirement Services, built for retirement, managed for life.
From Niagara Falls to Orchard Park, New York, and Andre Reed with a touchdown catch, but had he caught one earlier, this would be an entirely different game.
It'd be 14-13. This is a team known for comebacks, but it's not an offense at this point in its life that is capable of big comebacks.
Vaughn Hebron with the kick return to the 30-yard line. Nice return by Hebron. Well, as you know, it's that time of year again.
Must-screen TV. Wednesday is Halloween, Third Rock style, with pumpkin guts and that thing that lives in the wall.
Who are you going to call, Dick? Ghostbusters!
This could be the Halloween that goes too far.
Some ladies are crazy!
Third Rock followed by working NBC Wednesday.
Hey, Tom, isn't every show Halloween for that group of goofballs? Not to mention our guy right there, Elvis.
Well, it's been a trick-or-treat sort of day as turnovers have played a big part, accounting for many of the points. And Elway, for I believe the 4th time today, has a pass knocked down. Ted Washington got that one.
You see the look by John Elway where he just sort of looks and goes, well, stuff happens. You know, it's amazing. When you give a defense a reason to show extra life, it will show you extra life. Positives from the offense produce positives from the defense, and Ted Washington gets that big brace on his left arm up on another Elway pass.
Elway for the day, 11 of 20, 94 yards, 2 interceptions. Vaughn Hebron in the backfield. McCaffrey goes in motion. Elway, chase, and sack.
Well, we saw an all-out blitz from the Broncos defense on Alex Van Pelt earlier. Blitz, blitz, blitz. Here it comes with one goal. Bruce Smith can't get him, but Covington, Washington, and Hansen get Elway.
This is the 4th sack of the day for the Buffalo defense.
And that's how you keep Terrell Davis out of the game. You make him throw. You make Elway beat you.
3rd down from the gun. John Elway wide open and dropped by Terrell Davis. Pass a little behind him, but he should have caught the ball. Instead, the Broncos will punt. Well, remember earlier this season, the Buffalo Bills came from 26 down to beat Indianapolis. Now, Denver's no Indianapolis. Just don't make that mistake. There's the drop by Davis.
But they have the defense, Tom, that's capable of stopping any offense in the league, as they're showing against Denver, who has one of the best. Can the offense on the Buffalo side keep up their end of the bargain with Van Pelt in at quarterback?
Ruin will punt. And Jeff Burr says get away from it. It's touched by the Broncos. Let's see where they'll mark the football. Johnson touched it. Elway could get nothing done. He's got to give it back to Alex Van Pelt and the Bills.
Perfect for any game, Domino's has the perfect play. Choose from 3 delicious crusts. There's classic hand tossed, crunchy thin crust, or go deep with thick ultimate deep dish. So make the call and have it all. Call now, and you can enjoy delicious Domino's pizza during the game. And why not add some of Domino's spicy buffalo wings or steaming hot breadsticks?
Presenting the rugged Montero Sport.
Well, hold on to that sandwich, because one bounce and it's mine. Oh, wait, this SUV ride's too smooth. I'm gonna starve. Unless smooth ride, sleep.
The SUV with a surprisingly smooth ride.
Lunch is served.
The Montero Sport and Montero from Mitsubishi. Built for living.
Still shaving with blades? We know how you feel about that. The Norelco Reflex Action Razor. Anything closer could be too close for comfort. It has a lubricating comfort strip. And for a lot of guys, that's not much comfort. The Norelco Reflex Action Razor. Anything closer could be too close for comfort.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza, delivering 1 million smiles a day. Call for pizza now and share a smile during the game.
A shivering Tom Hammond and Randy Cross in Buffalo, where the rain continues to come down, but the man of the hour, Alex Van Pelt, threw a touchdown pass. He's 5 of 7, 52 yards, and the touchdown. Can he rally a Buffalo comeback? Antoine Smith to the 45-yard line. Tough 5 yards. Bill Romanowski makes the hit for Denver.
And so far, you look at the 2 quarterbacks we've seen today. Collins, not very confident, constantly harassed, and Van Pelt has gotten protection, has gotten the completion. And what a difference in this offense since that last drive, or last 2 drives with Van Pelt.
He's looking for a big one, and it's interference. Tim McKyer interfered with Quinn Early deep down the sideline. And that's the big play Buffalo is looking for.
I'm not sure if this offense is absolutely positive it's got the comeback in it, but I'll tell you one thing for positive. This crowd and these Buffalo Bill fans are positive with a field position off that interference that they can get another 6 and that they're not out of this football game.
Van Pelt, confident, poised. There were many that thought He was a better quarterback than Todd Collins before all this. And who was it? Glenn Foley last week replacing Neil O'Donnell, leading the Jets to victory. Can Van Pelt pull a similar trick? Antoine Smith. 3-yard gain. Tyrone Braxton and Bill Romanowski, bottom of the stack.
Denver's trying to call for a fumble. They have the ball. But that ball was marked as down right as his forward motion was stopped. The ball was ripped out late. Watch the forward motion of Antoine Smith going forward, stopped. Ball's got it, ball's out after he's pushed back.
Van Pelt threw it behind Quinn early. Looked like miscommunication there.
Well, the communication involved was all on the defensive side of Denver. Steve Atwater coming on the blitz at Marv Levy's quarterback is the reason that ball was misthrown. Alex Van Pelt had no time to throw. Greg Robinson, you just saw the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, brought the blitz. There's Atwater 27, and you know that's getting rid of it and hoping when you get rid of it, your guy's gone the direction you think he has.
9:48 left in the game. 27 Denver. Van Pelt. That was a bad looking pass there, not near a receiver.
Van Pelt pass incomplete.
And the field goal team will come out for Buffalo.
Fourth down.
Well, today for the Buffalo Bills, it's been the little things. They've had problems. Timing, consistency. And that's what these plays are all about, is timing and consistency. The snap, the hold, the kick. We've seen plenty of these bad this year in the NFL.
31-yard attempt by Christie. And right through the middle. So Buffalo gets a field goal to inch closer. It's 20-10 Broncos.
Reaching your financial goals can be a complex balancing act. At the Principal Financial Group, you will find the strength of our investment performance is your 401k retirement advantage. You'll find our flexibility will meet your insurance needs. And you'll find the balance of choice and quality you need in health coverage. For over 100 years, the Principal has made the complex simple. That's how we give you an edge. The Principal.
Hi, how can I help you? What's the difference between these phones? This is analog, and this is PCS, the latest digital mobile. Oh, why, you're Sprint certified. Make a free local call and hear how clear it is.
Where's your mother?
Trying out phones.
I better go help.
George, digital PCS phones are much clearer than analog. I heard Mother from Saturn, clear as a bell.
You need a phone for that?
The new Sprint store at Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Dr. Catherine Homrig cares for some very demanding patients in upstate New York.
I drive a lot. Some days I'll drive up to 300 miles a day to see my clients. With the weather being unpredictable, it's real important that I have a dependable vehicle.
Fortunately, this veterinarian drives the reliable Mitsubishi Galant.
I'm so happy with my Galant. I already have my new one picked out.
The Mitsubishi Galant. Just one of the dependable family of sedans from Mitsubishi. Built for living.
The Breeders' Cup has seen some memorable moments at Hollywood Park.
In a dramatic finish, and here's the wire. Wild again does it. The final turn, the two Derby winners with the wire together. Ferdinand.
Racing's Championship Day returns to where it all began. The Breeders' Cup in 2 weeks on NBC.
NFL season extends to the World Wide Web at NFL.com, the league's official website. All the scores and stats, a complete roundup of this weekend's scores and actions, plus chat live at NFL.com with some of the big stars in the game. Vaughn Hebron, 23-yard line. He stops, and the Broncos will have the ball. A little scuffle breaks out, nothing serious. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York for another update. Greg?
Tom and Randy at the Meadowlands. The Giants looking for their 5th straight win. Danny Cannell connects with Chris Callaway. He breaks free of a man, breaks free of another. Gets it to the 1-yard line. Tyrone Wheatley scored from there. The 2-point conversion failed, but the Giants lead the Bengals by 1 early in the 4th. Tom?
All right, Greg, thanks. So Danny Cannell doing the job to pull the Giants from behind.
Tom, this is all about the Buffalo defense right now. If they want a chance to win this ball game, they got to stop Elway and company again.
And Terrell Davis. 2-yard gain. Washington and Covington make the tackle.
Bruce Smith on the sideline next to his coordinator, Wade Phillips. Marcus Whitley, the young defensive, Marcus Wiley, the young defensive lineman out of Columbia, in for Bruce Smith.
There's Marcellus, rookie.
Sort of an interesting time to be giving an all-time great a blow.
Davis cuts up the field, tripped up just short of the first down.
Davis on the left side.
And this is just a case of blocking giving you enough. A lot? No. That is enough. Defenders coming in from both sides, but it's enough to keep them from making the first down and setting up a third and about 2 yards.
161 yards for Terrell Davis today.
5 yards a crack is just normal for this young man.
There he is again. Looks for a spot. Stopped very close to the first down. I think just short. Let's see.
Now, he didn't get it. That knee is down before the ball hit that first down marker. The Broncos are going to have to punt it. And the Buffalo Bills defense has done their job.
Terrific effort that time on that play by Phil Hansen and Chris Spielman to stop the first down.
You know you're going to get the cutback. You stay on the shoulder, you stay on your gap, you have your responsibility, and you make the tackle. That is team defense.
Tom Ruin will punt again, his 5th of the day. High kick, Jeff Burris. Still on his feet. And then just tackled around the shoe tops at the 30-yard line. Dodge made the play for the Denver special teams. Buffalo's ball when we come back.
Mitsubishi Motors presents a page from the playbook. In last season's clash with Miami on Monday night, the Colts had second down at the 1-yard line.
We're going to move one far. 26 Bob on one. Ready?
Stay tuned to see if the Colts smash it over or take to the air.
Presenting the rugged Montero Sport.
Well, hold on to that sandwich, because 1 bounce and it's mine. Oh, wait, this SUV ride's too smooth. I'm gonna starve. Unless smooth ride, sleep.
The SUV with a surprisingly smooth ride.
Lunch is served.
The Montero Sport and Montero from Mitsubishi. Built for living.
Showing a run formation, the Colts fool the defense by faking to the fullback, while the tight end is left all alone in the end zone for the easy touchdown.
How do you get this equipment to these troops when there's a river between them? Build a bridge. Problem solving. You need it now in college. Learn it now in the Army Reserve.
In this great world, I go just where I please.
Right now, all Goodyear tires are on sale at Sears, like Eagles and Wranglers.
And I say, roll like a wheel, it's time to roll.
All Goodyear tires on sale through November 5th.
Coming up next, Game 2 of our NFL on NBC doubleheader. The Jaguars, the Steelers. Mark Brunell leads Jacksonville against Cordell Stewart and Pittsburgh in this fight for first in the AFC Central. Or Napoleon Kaufman and the Raiders face the Seahawks. Or regional action, the NFL on NBC next.
You see the difference that Alex Van Pelt, Tom, has made in the offense in the second half. Here in Buffalo, Todd Collins might be the future, but Alex Van Pelt is the head man of the church of what's happening now for the Buffalo Bills.
He has 7 minutes, 19 seconds. He's down 10 points. From his own 31, Van Pelt scrambles to buy some time and throws it away.
Still grounded.
It'll be 2nd and 10 coming up for the Bills.
That note you heard was from Ron Blum, noting that Van Pelt was outside the pocket when he threw that ball to no one in particular. He not only was outside the pocket, he did throw the ball past the line of scrimmage.
Well, Van Pelt played only a game in each of the 95 and 96 seasons, but among his admirers, Jim Kelly thinks that Van Pelt is a competitor. Here's a delayed handoff to Thurman Thomas, bursting free for a moment, then it closes down thanks to Bill Romanowski.
We keep talking about all these young running backs and their acceleration. Well, you know, Thurman's still got a lot of acceleration and squeak left in him. Corbin Lucina, the guard, comes around, gives him a nice block, and Thurman hits that hole in a blur.
It sets up a 3rd and 3 for Buffalo. Thurman again. Thurman Thomas. Thurman Thomas for a first down to the 45. That looked like the Thurman Thomas of old, the man that's rushed for over 11,000 yards.
Talk about a lot of things about Thurman Thomas, but one rule still applies. Do not try to hit him high and wrap him up. Very strong. 1 block. 2 tackles broken. And the 3rd tackle by Braxton turns into a ride.
17 yards was the ride, and it's first down from the 44-yard line. Van Pelt on target, molds to the 25 of the Broncos. Tyrone Braxton hitting Eric Moulds, but it's another Buffalo first down.
So far this drive seems like kind of like a bride's wedding plan. Something old in Thomas, something new in Smith and Moulds.
Now if they could get a little blue, the blue of the Buffalo jersey, that one covered 19. Van Pelt has Quinn early, and was it taken away? Let's see. Does Denver have it?
It was bobbled, Tom, and as he bobbled the ball, Quinn Early brought that ball up, and it was intercepted.
Ray Crockett took it away from Quinn Early. Well, the Buffalo defense has made big plays all day, and here's another one by the Denver defense.
That is being out-concentrated. Concentration to catch it, concentration lack of not to catch it, and great concentration by Crockett, staying with that ball the entire way.
Ray Crockett with a heads-up defensive play. A very important play for the Denver defense, which had been rocked back on its heels a bit. Now it's Davis time again.
And another negative quarterback stat in that interception for Van Pelt that should find some way to get its way onto the receiver's stat sheet.
Van Pelt had it on target.
Well, he had that pass on target. Andre Reed totally muffed the ball, put right in his chest by Todd Collins. It would have been 6 points, and Crockett opportunistically comes up with that ball, and there is joy, which hasn't been much joy in that Denver Broncos team last 24 hours trying to struggle out here, but there is now.
It'll make that ride back to the Blizzard a little more palatable if they can rack up number 7. Terrell Davis will be 2 yards short of the first down.
See, this is the type of the part of the game that an offense with a running back like Terrell Davis runs what you call the 4-minute offense. There's 4 minutes and 19 seconds to go right now in running, and you get that ball and you give it to your big back and you get first downs, and you don't ever let Alex Van Pelt and that Buffalo offense see the ball again. Elway's going to let it run all the way down and call a timeout.
And that's what he does with 3:51 on the clock. First timeout taken by Denver. Well, with it all on the line, Cleveland's Omar Vizquel slammed the door on the Marlins.
Bouncing ball toward the hole. Vizquel stops it. Throws from the outfield grass. What a play. Oh, man.
It was a terrific play. And more tonight, the ultimate Game 7. The Indians and the Marlins following football here on NBC.
John Elway played a little baseball at Stanford.
Yep.
Was very highly thought of as a pitcher, actually. And you talk about pitchers. You're in Game 7. You got that Cleveland-Florida game tonight. Is there a pitcher that's not on call? I mean, even OJ.
It's the staff. You're right. I don't know if his arm would be up to it or his legs after all the running around the bases he did.
You got all offseason to rest.
And what about Jarrett Wright being thrown into Game 7? Wow. Big third down play here, and the Bills came charging off, and they say they were drawn.
That was Bruce Smith jumping early.
Let's see which way it goes. Bruce and John arguing their cases respectively.
Teammates on a lot of Pro Bowls, but
Prior to the snap, ball start, 65 offense, 5 yards, repeat third down.
It was Gary Zimmerman, second time today. The veteran Zimmerman has been lured into a false start by the veteran Bruce Smith.
Zimmerman's got that I beg to differ look, but there's Zimmerman right up here. I don't know. I didn't see a muscle twitch or a spasm or anything out of anybody. I pretty much think Bruce Smith just sort of used that future Hall of Fame influence. He got himself a penalty.
Now it's 3rd and 7. Elway's down. Sean Moran, the former Colorado State player, will get credit for the sack. Moran, a Colorado native.
Well, I talked about that 4-minute offense, and this has gone exactly how you don't want a 4-minute offense to do. A penalty, a sack, field position, and the other guys are going to get the ball back somewhere around the 45 to 50-yard line.
And Buffalo calls timeout after their 5th sack of the game, stopping the clock with 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And Elway and the Broncos still clinging to a 10-point lead.
Yeah, I don't think you can really blame any of the Denver Bronco performance on their troubles getting here with the blizzard and whatnot and getting in late. And, you know, you can say, oh, gee, they were a little dull. Hey, this team came out on fire. This team came fired up. You ran into a Marv Levy defense that gave their offense all they can handle early. It's more a case that the Buffalo Bills have found themselves to a degree, and Mike Shanahan's football team seems to a little bit have gone in sort of a glide mode the last couple of series, and it's all Marv Levy's teams needed to sort of get back in this thing.
Tom Ruin's punt. They put some pressure on him, but he got it away. Burris says, stay away from it, and it takes a Buffalo bounce. And the Bills will get it at the 45 of Denver. Next Saturday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, Notre Dame football continues as the midshipmen of Navy travel to South Bend to face the Irish, big winners over Boston College yesterday. Then at 5 Eastern time, Lod Rashad hosts the NBA preview one-on-one with analysis of the upcoming season from Bill Walton and Hubie Brown. That's Notre Dame football and the NBA preview show next Saturday, beginning at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBC.
Hey, Thomas, San Antonio got the formula for success. Have one bad year, get yourself a Tim Duncan, and then come back and terrorize people.
If they can get, you know, Sean Elliott and some of the others back healthy, too, they will be formidable.
Empty! Empty!
Van Pelt retreats. His pass wide open and caught by Early.
Quinn Early made an easy one look hard earlier and just made a hard one look easy.
It covers 22 yards. Hurry up offense for the Bills. They're down 10, just over 3 minutes left.
Now's the time. If you have a star, you need a star to make a play. We talked about Reed being a star and Thomas. Now's their play time.
Van Pelt, just as he was hit, incomplete. Intended for Quinn Early. The ball sort of popped in the air as Harold Hasselbeck hit him just as he released the ball.
And the pass rush is really what does it, like you just noted. Harold Hasselbeck does a good job against John Fina, causes the weather balloon to be launched, and is very lucky that Atwater doesn't come down one just like Crockett came down one in the last possession.
And there was a penalty marker down, apparently, although I still haven't seen it.
Gilly, go see it. tight end set in a three-point stance while the man was in motion. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So Van Pelt gets the play call now on 1st and 15. With the ball back at the 28. Draw play. Nothing. Stopped. Thurman Thomas dropped in his tracks by John Mobley.
We haven't called John Mobley's name very many times today, but you talk about a clutch time to come on a blitz called by Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator, trying a little foolery, a little draw. And that is just a case of a young, strong, aggressive linebacker going right through a running back.
Van Pelt for Early. He's got it. Touchdown.
The first option, the second option, the third option. Ah, what the heck, I'll put it up backside. Can he come down with it? Right in the face. There was pushing both ways between Early and McKyer, but no flag.
Christie's extra point is good, and suddenly it's a three-point game. 2:23 remaining. Van Pelt has moved the Bills. And now, do you have a quarterback controversy in Buffalo?
You could very well have a quarterback controversy. One thing you definitely have is you have a defense again that's got to come through. Can they do it again? Because Quinn Early bobbled one earlier, caught two great ones on this drive, and Alex Van Pelt has got his Buffalo Bills within 3 points.
As poor as Buffalo looked offensively earlier in the game, it's amazing that they have come within 3. And an Andre Reed drop touchdown pass away from being in front. Van Pelt has hit 8 of 14 for 122 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the 1 interception when Ray Crockett took the ball away from Quinn Early.
Now we're going to give that to Early.
Tim McKyer thought that Early pushed him in the end zone in order to get free to make the catch.
Now it's up to Bryce Pop, Phil Hansen, Bruce Smith, and that Buffalo defense to try to once again frustrate Shanahan's offense for the Broncos.
Broncos are expecting the onside kick. 2:23 remaining.
They're going to get it.
Here comes the onside attempt. Ball has to travel 10 yards. Christie tries to get the big kick. It's in the air. And it's out of bounds.
There's a flag thrown, Tom, but that ball was touched. It was touched by a Denver player on the way out of bounds. It got through clean, it'd be a penalty. But it did not get through clean. It was tipped, and it should just be Denver's ball at that
and that's
spot.
what they're signaling. Touched in bounds, it would be Denver ball.
Receivers were the last team to touch the ball before it went out of bounds. Ball belongs to Denver. First down.
Well, Mike Shanahan's seen the Buffalo Bills take their shot. Christie, a great job of double bounce and then pop. Now watch the knock out of bounds. Rod Smith pushes the ball out of bounds and away from Steve Tasker, who's trying to get in to recover. Watch the Smith push, and there's Tasker right underneath, well positioned, and that ball comes down in.
Rod Smith showed some leaping ability, too, on that one. So from the 43 of the Bills, Denver has a first down, and they take the timeout. Here's our Miller game time summary. Elway passing for only 93 yards and has had 2 picked off. Davis 169 yards rushing, and the very unexpected Alex Van Pelt, in relief of an ineffective Todd Collins, has led the Bills to 2 touchdowns, breaking an 11-quarter touchdown drought by Buffalo. Don't forget, coming up next on most of these NBC stations, Game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. Most of you see the Jaguars battle the Steelers. Should be a terrific matchup at Three Rivers Stadium. Some of you will see the Raiders face the Seahawks or regional action. Check your local listings for the game in your area.
One of the things you're used to seeing in Buffalo is Bruce Smith in these situations. He's not in the ball game. We talked about those knees earlier, Tom. They have to be bothering him for him not to be in there now.
Davis holds on to the football and lugs it to the 38. Sean Moran hits him there as we tick down to the 2-minute warning. Davis has been the man for the Denver Broncos today. As the clock stops at 2 minutes. 2 minutes left in the game. Broncos 20, Bills 17.
Nate Newton for 1-800-COLLECT.
This is my cousin Marvin. Say hello, Marvin.
Hello.
During the season, Marvin and I like to stay in touch. Everything is cool as long as he dials 1-800-COLLECT. It's real easy for him. And for me, it's 10 cents a minute. Every evening, all week long. Right, Marvin? But sometimes Marvin forgets to dial 1-800-COLLECT. And that's when he needs a little reminder. 1-800-COLLECT. 10 cents a minute. Every evening, all week long.
At Cigna, we care about people who have babies. We care about companies that make steel and about companies that make bread. We care about life and about all that makes life great or possible or just better. At Cigna, we care because it is our business to care. But we also care because, well, we have babies too. Cigna, a business of caring.
Perfect for any game, Domino's has the perfect play. Choose from 3 delicious crusts. There's classic hand tossed, crunchy thin crust, or go deep with thick ultimate deep dish. So make the call and have it all. Call now, and you can enjoy delicious Domino's pizza during the game. And why not add some of Domino's spicy buffalo wings or steaming hot breadsticks?
The Cleveland Indians. 3 times this postseason, these underdogs had to win when it counts. Now it's all on the line again. The Florida Marlins. Can the team with the best home record in baseball win one more and capture the World Championship? A do-or-die World Series Game 7. Tonight, following football on NBC.
The Broncos have lost 4 straight games played in Buffalo. Their last win here at Rich Stadium, 1989. Behind the arm of John Elway and the running of Bobby Humphrey. The Broncos beat the Bills 28-14. Now 8 years later, trying to hold on for another win. Terrell Davis stopped by Hanson Washington. Wiley and the whole front of the Buffalo defense.
Well, as good as this defense is playing for Buffalo, it really makes me wonder why that kickoff wasn't down the field and this whole stand wasn't being taken on the other side of the 50-yard line.
And Buffalo takes its final timeout. And you said earlier you didn't think that the long trip in had any effect. Once again, do you think that the blizzard conditions and the scramble to leave Denver and the very early a.m. arrival here in Buffalo has affected their play at all?
I don't think so. I think early is when you'd see that kind of a sign. You get a dull sluggishness on Mike Shanahan's team, and they did not have the dull sluggishness. And they came out and they played effectively against a good defense with their offense. Their defense stopped Buffalo's offense very, very well, made them look as bad as they played. It's been in the 4th quarter and late 3rd is when this team has just sort of gone to sleep.
Ineffective second half for Elway. He has a 3rd and 3. Davis. Stop. The Bills will get the ball back. Well, maybe they won't get it back because maybe Shanahan will go for it on 4th down. Let's see. What do you do, Randy?
I think absolutely. If it's my game and my ball, I pooch kick this thing down there, and I make my defense I'm paying all that money to stop Alex Van Pelt and the Buffalo Bills offense. I don't give them any extra field position. They might just go for a try to draw them off sides here and then kick it and take the penalty.
They're about a yard short of the 1st down. They're going to let the clock tick away. And there it is. Denver takes their final timeout.
30-second timeout.
They take their final timeout just before the play clock expired. And now the options are being discussed. Kubiak, Shanahan, Elway. Neither team with a timeout left and 1:08 on the clock.
At 15 yards, ball's on the 35-yard line. Even if you kick the ball into the end zone, they get it on the 20, it's 15 yards. I mean, that's 15 yards with this little time left in a ball game and an inexperienced and unconfident to this point offense on the field. That 15 yards is a long way.
Well, it appears that Buffalo thinks they're going to go for it. They've got their defense out there.
Well, I tell you what, Marv Levy's defense with Bruce Smith and company back on the field had better watch that football. It's going to be loud in here, and Elway's going to be screaming and barking as loud as these people can scream.
4th down and a yard. Trying to draw him offside, and Buffalo didn't bite.
That's a veteran defense, Tom. They're not reacting, and they aren't buying.
Now the 5-yard mark off and the punt.
Yeah, I just could not believe in this situation in a 3-point ball game you would even think about risking, given an offense that's moving the ball pretty well against your defense, an opportunity or at least some sort of a shot with about a minute to go to beat you or tie you with a field goal.
Do you come after the punter?
Well, I think you come after the punter, especially when you have nobody back deep to catch it.
No deep man. Tom Ruin in punt formation. Sails it downfield, and it will hit the end zone on the fly for the touchback. And the Bills will take over at the 20, 57 seconds, and no timeouts.
I'll tell you, since that ball landed in the end zone, a good 3 or 4 seconds ran off that clock. The clock was at right about a minute when that ball landed in the end zone. It took 3 or 4 seconds to stop it.
Well, earlier this season, the Bills were down 26-0 to the Indianapolis Colts, came back to win the game. Denver is a much superior team to Indianapolis. Buffalo is not that far behind today, but they are at least within 3 and have the ball. A difficult task, though. 80 yards away and no timeout. Van Pelt in the middle of the field, dangerous. The completion to Early. Clock continues to roll. Of course, the hurry-up offense has been a Buffalo staple for years. Let's see if they go ahead and down it here. They do. Spike to stop the clock, 38 seconds.
Tom, Mike Shanahan's a football coach that's very much into contingencies and adjustments and reacting to adversity. I'm not sure if on that list of contingencies and adjustments and reactions to adversity when he was coming in here to play this Buffalo team this morning when he arrived on that bus about 11 o'clock, being this close, this late, was on that list.
Well, it will be a sweet victory for Denver if they can hold on after all the adversity they faced just getting here. And then a suddenly aroused Buffalo team that gave them a battle here late. The issue still in doubt. Threw it away, did Van Pelt. Clock stops with 33 seconds.
And let's be honest in this situation. This is a Buffalo defense that can hang with the Denver offenses of this league. It was the Buffalo offense since Alex Van Pelt came in against Robinson's defense that has made the difference in this ball game. You're basically functioning with a 4-man rush, and that's Ma'a Tunavasa. Had 3 sacks on Monday night against New England a few weeks ago. Hasn't done much last couple of games, but that is a big pressure for the big guy up front, number 98.
It's 3rd down. This one complete to Andre Reed, just short of the Denver 40. Twisted down by Ray Crockett. They're lining up to try to down it again. Clock stopped 14 seconds. Steve Christie has kicked a 59-yarder in his career.
You look at the Buffalo defensive players out on the field. The Denver defensive players, you're seeing a lot of standing around kind of looking at each other saying, what's going on? You know, what did we do? Wasn't that your guy? This is a bad time right now for this Denver defense to lose any aggressiveness.
A field goal at this point would be about 58 yards for Christie, who has kicked a 59er in his career. Now look for Denver to fall back and for Buffalo to try to attack the sideline here. Can't afford to go to the middle of the field. Play action fake. Van Pelt rolls. And he's going to run out of bounds after he gains a couple of yards. 8 seconds left.
On the keeper.
Well, the ball's going to be spot right now, Tom. You're talking about a 53 to 54-yard field goal in wet, miserable conditions. And Steve Christie.
Here he comes, Christie, who against Indianapolis Monday night hit the 11th game-winning field goal of his career.
He's got the leg. The question is, with this wind, this cold, will the ball accept the foot and go?
55 yards to tie. It's good! It just clears and is good. Christie from 55. Wow. Look at Bruce Smith.
That is a boot. I tell you what, with as bad as this offense looked earlier, Tom, this is as strong a defensive effort and really as big a rally as I've seen a bad offense make in a long time. Don't forget the 7 points they left on the field with the Andre Reed drop. You can't say enough about the leg of Steve Christie here. Now the adversity reaction and the rally of the Broncos and Mike Shanahan's football team will be sorely tested.
Well, the comeback has been a Buffalo trademark, hasn't it, since that playoff comeback. 2 seconds left. Tied at 20. Here's the pooch kick. And we're headed to overtime. Well, of course, this is John Elway time, too, isn't it? The man who's pulled out numerous games in his career. But who would have put Alex Van Pelt in the same category?
But exactly. But if you win the toss here and you're Denver and you've got John Elway, I think your scenario changes a little bit. You got to use Terrell Davis. But the way you get this thing done and end this thing quickly and don't let Van Pelt on the field is you win the toss and you drive down throwing the ball, and Elway leads his team to a touchdown or a field goal to win it.
Here's the toss.
Denver calls tails. It's a tail. You want the football?
No, we're going to kick off. We're going to go that way.
All right, they choose to kick in that direction. You want the football. All right, Buffalo will receive.
So Denver takes the wind, such as it is. It does swirl, but they throw down the gauntlet, taunting the Buffalo offense to score if you can. Alex Van Pelt will have a chance thanks to this heroic effort by Steve Christie. Back after these messages from your local station, you're watching the NFL on NBC.
The working definition of sportsmanship.
Are those deer antlers?
Stag, actually. Bagged it myself.
What'd you use?
Chrysler LeBaron. Working NBC Wednesdays.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Wouldn't putting your stars together with our 5-star rating be a bright thing to do?
Remember, kids in the back seat.
Hey, we're the McKenzie brothers, eh? And we're here to stop a heinous crime.
Yeah, they're sending Molson Canadians south of the border instead of our house where it belongs.
But we got a plan, eh?
Step out in the truck, please, sir. We offer a complimentary breakfast and free donuts, eh? How about a little deodorant for those long, stinky rides?
Au revoir, eh? Guys, putting it in low, eh?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm gunning it.
Like winter conditions.
Wegmans Donuts make good gobbling.
You're watching WGRZ-TV Buffalo, NBC in Western New York.
Tom Hammond and Randy Cross ready for overtime in Buffalo. John Elway warming up, hoping his defense can stop the Bills and get him the football.
We talk about the reactions, about the storm and whatnot, and was this team ready to play? That's an excuse. Mike Shanahan is not into excuses. He's into results. The bottom line here is this is a game you should win, and this is a game right now because you've made it go into overtime. You have got to win for the Denver Broncos.
You remember our halftime stats, the great disparity in yards in favor of the Broncos? Well, Buffalo now has outgained them. Only 47 yards in the second half for Denver. Tasker and Holmes to receive Elam's kickoff. Overtime is underway. This is Derek Holmes from the 5. Tripped up, falls forward to the 25-yard line. Alex Van Pelt. Randy, these are astounding numbers.
What's wrong with this picture? I feel like I want to reach down on the monitor here and kind of adjust the screen because the numbers must be backwards. But Van Pelt has had his receivers come through for him. That's the biggest difference. He's played with confidence. He stood in the pocket. And his receivers have caught the balls for him.
Football at the 25-yard line. There's that yardage situation. Only 47 for Denver in the second half after Buffalo had only 44 in the first. Van Pelt blasted as he let it go. Caught but out of bounds and incomplete. Quinn Early latched onto it, but it won't count. And boy, Van Pelt took a hit.
Well, you talked about Denver, sort of a slap in the face at Buffalo kicking off to him. I think it's more of a case of Mike Shanahan telling the defense, hey, it's up to you. You're the ones that got to win us this game, and this first play is not a bad start. You've got a flying Keith Traylor who's played a wonderful ball game, getting right in Van Pelt's face.
5 yards, false start.
Jerry Ostrowski.
And now the task.
False start. 60 offense. 5 yards. Repeat second down.
Hear the wind ripping through the mic, giving you an idea what it's like on the field.
Right guard, number 60.
Right tackle, actually, Ostrowski.
Tackle, guard.
He's been at all.
He's played them all.
Center even this year some. But it makes the task even more difficult now. Second down and 15 from their own 20.
Van Pelt's come through today when the things look the worst.
And that play blown dead.
Another motion penalty on the inside of that offense, I think.
Prior to the snap, ball start, 70 offense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
John Fina. Well, Buffalo unraveling here in overtime.
This is exactly what Mike Shanahan had in mind when he called to kick off this ball, and it's exactly what Marv Levy didn't want to see. Fina, number 70, right side of the screen, moving early. Not real early, but early.
And early might now be on Van Pelt's mind as he might look for Quinn downfield. He needs 20 for a first down. Dropped by Reed.
Well, pass intended for Andre Reed.
That pass right there by Van Pelt. He's getting the pressure. Sure, there's wind blowing. He's going into the wind. Andre Reed, it's overtime. The ball's near you. It's a little low. Could not quite get back to it. Watch where that thing is. That is right on the shoe tops. That ball needed to be just about another 6 inches higher.
Right.
And he's got it.
Now it's 3rd down and 20. Lonnie Johnson only to the 21-yard line. Buffalo will punt. Mobley and Cadrez stopping the tight end Johnson. And the strategy by Shanahan appeared to be right on the money.
Well, especially now when you're looking at, 4th and long, punting from inside the 10-yard line. Chris Moore to Darian Gordon, one of the most dangerous punt returners in the league. Shanahan's offense would look to get great field position here.
Chris Moore. Short kick. Gordon says stay away from it. Takes a little bit of a Buffalo bounce to around the 40-yard line. So the Broncos will have the ball, but first, let's go to Greg Gumbel for an update.
All right, Tom, at the Meadowlands, they almost had overtime. Jeff Blake scrambles 4 yards, reaches for the end zone, and scores under 2 minutes to play. 29-27, two-point conversion is a butcher job. Jason Sehorn grabs it before anybody else can. The final, the Giants go to 6-3 on the year. 29-27, Tom.
All right, Greg. In overtime here, first possession for the Broncos with the master, John Elway, at the controls. They start from their own 40. Pass incomplete. Intended for Shannon Sharp, who's been quiet for a long time. Bill Hansen was bearing down on Elway.
You can talk about people being dull, people being half asleep, being ineffective, but I think the credit for what the Broncos offense isn't doing isn't to blame anyone, but to credit the Buffalo defense. This Buffalo defense has come to play all day long.
Elway 8 and 7 in overtime. The winningest quarterback in history. That pass incomplete. Intended for Davis, and once again, Elway was flushed from the pocket by a ferocious Buffalo rush.
And even the great quarterbacks, Tom, if you don't let them set their feet, their percentage of completion drops like a rock. And John Elway at no point is really able to set and throw. Getting the pressure from the backside, throws the ball ineffectively, and he doesn't like it.
It's going to be 3rd and 10. Depending on the spot of the football, Shannon Sharp. It's going to be very, very close.
The far side mark would look to be they're going to get that first down.
They've got it. First down, Denver.
Man, just when you've got him moving, just when he can't set his feet, you let him set his feet, and Elway breaks out the laser cannon on you. And that blur you just saw, Chris Spielman, was the ball going by you.
Clutch play. Elway to Sharp. First down, Broncos. Only his 2nd completion of the half. Davis. Flag down. And another.
Davis to the right side. Look on the ball.
It's going to be against Denver.
Holding, 89 offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
Dwayne Carswell, the hold.
Dwayne Carswell lined up at the right tight end and did a little bit of a semi-takedown on that play. Carswell lined up out here. It's not what he does near the line of scrimmage, but what happens in the backfield. Wraps the arms. He had his arms around the outside, twisted the body, and then went to the arms spread out, I didn't do anything mode.
First and 20. Caught by Davis. Hit immediately by Gabe Northern.
Pass complete to Davis. Gabe Northern on the side.
Defense is just eating up anything within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. Wade Phillips has got to love what they're doing in that zone. When you're placing a quarterback like John Elway, if you frustrate him short and you make the mistake of giving him time like you did a couple plays ago, he will work the ball down the field on you.
Ball back to the 39 now on 2nd and 22. Elway goes deep. And too deep, incomplete, intended for Rod Smith, who was streaking down the field with Thomas Smith of the Bills.
You know, part of that, in that 10-yard zone, you're being effective. You got to expect John Elway is going to take a shot down the field and check your water down there. Rod Smith has got the speed, but look how deep Burris is playing. Not only is he playing deep, he has help coming from the inside from Schultz. I mean, there's Olympic sprinters that have won gold medals that couldn't get by Jeff Burris with a 15-yard run and start.
Smith, Green, McCaffrey, 3 wide receivers. 3rd and 22. Handoff to Davis. Terrell Davis with a head of steam, twisting, turning, nearly broke free, but is stopped short of the first down at the 48 of the Bills by Chris Spielman.
Chris Spielman making the stop.
And the punter, Tom Ruin, will enter the fray on 4th down.
And once again, the Buffalo defense has answered Marv Levy's call of help.
Well, we've seen penalties play such a big part. Put Buffalo in a hole, they had to punt. After Denver had picked up 1 first down, they had a penalty, puts them in a hole they can't recover, and they will punt. Ruin toward Jeff Burris. Lets it bounce. And it's going to be a great play for Denver down at the 1-yard line. Don't forget, coming up next, most of these NBC stations, game 2 of the doubleheader. Most of you are slated to see the Jaguars and the Steelers. Some will see the Raiders and the Seahawks on regional action. Check your local listings for the game in your area.
Well, you better put a couple pots of coffee on the old stove. If game 2 is as good late as this one, and the World Series after that is as good late as this one, it will be a late night.
Spot the ball inside the Buffalo 1. Van Pelt from his own end zone to Early. Gives him a little room out to the 9. Ray Crockett made sure Early had no more than that.
And a very important game, too, Tom, because here in overtime, it takes the safety out of the equation when you're not backed up on that, 1.5 to 2-yard line.
We're in overtime, tied at 20. Second possession by the Bills. They began at their own 1. They've advanced it out to the 9-yard line. Antoine Smith. And Smith fights for a Buffalo first down to the 15-yard line. Tim McKyer made the tackle.
The Denver defense was looking for the run. They were not blitzing. They were playing soft and back. And that's all that Antoine Smith needed, was just that little bit of softness. Wasn't a lack of aggression, just a little bit of softness.
2 timeouts left, 10 minutes left in overtime. Van Pelt nearly collided with Antoine Smith. Somehow he got to the outside and made a positive gain out of it.
I mentioned earlier in the game, this is a fast Denver defense. You know, the Thurman Thomases and the Antoine Smiths aren't supposed to be able to get outside on that defense, but Antoine Smith did a double bounce. That wasn't even a bounce and go. That was a bounce and sit and bounce again and go.
And it bounced forward for about 8 yards. Here's Antoine again, close to another first down. Looks like he'll be less than a yard short on 3rd down. See the spot of the football, and it will be just short. Bill Romanowski gets credit for the stop. Thurman Thomas pacing the sideline as he's seen the rookie Antoine Smith get the call here in overtime.
Remember, 1 week ago, the Oakland Raiders shredded this Denver defense. They had to sit with that all week long. They've watched Van Pelt and Buffalo move the ball on them effectively. You have got to rise to the occasion and stop this offense if you're that good.
3rd and 1. Smith has the first down. Dragging Bill Romanowski past the 30 to the 31. And now Smith will come out of the game, and Thurman Thomas will enter.
Well, the Denver defense stays on their side of the line of scrimmage, and the Buffalo offense comes over to their side of the line of scrimmage and just physically takes that first down. They didn't get it. They took it.
Reverse. Andre Reed's going to throw a pass, and he lost the football. Recovered by Van Pelt. Disaster for the Bills.
The call is one thing, Tom, but what is Andre Reed thinking in that situation? Marv Levy has to have told a wide receiver on a reverse pass, if you've got people in the vicinity, you've got an Alfred Williams in your area, put the ball away. Don't even think about passing. Goodness.
I have to question the call, too, because they had moved it out from the 1 with Antoine Smith getting some pretty good yardage, and suddenly they try the trickery, and it blows up in their face. Back to the 12-yard line now. Thurman Thomas on the draw. Takes it to the 20. Tackled there by Alfred Williams. Quieted the crowd, didn't it?
It just took a big pin and popped the balloon. This thing was growing and swelling and puffing up, and that fake reverse pass, whatever that thing
whatever it was, it was a bad play, whatever it was.
Not only took the crowd out of it, it took the offense out of it.
I think you can shred that one tomorrow. Take it out of the playbook. Van Pelt's pass for Thomas is short and incomplete. And it's 4th down.
Well, that play was not only a momentum killer, it was a field position gainer for the Denver Broncos.
Well, the ruined punt backed Buffalo all the way up to the 1-yard line. They picked up a couple of first downs, but then the trick play goes awry, and now Chris Moore will punt, and the Broncos are going to have superb field position. Darian Gordon is capable of giving them much more than that. Moore drives it downfield. Gordon from the 35. Stutter step, cut up, and a nice return out of it, even though he was surrounded. Broncos with the ball when we return to Buffalo.
When we spread the wheels out a bit, moved the windshield forward a tad, lowered the step-up height a skosh, and widened the aisle a smidgen, we created a caravan with 32 more cubic feet of room. It's remarkable what a few alterations will do. Now get up to $1,000 cash back on Dodge Caravan.
First down play. Elway's pass is complete. Carswell slips down and immediately covered by Bryce Pop.
Number 89, Wayne Carswell.
Boy, anywhere near the line of scrimmage, they're not giving this offense anything. First half, Terrell Davis took a lot. Second half, can you say it dropping off when you only get 4 yards?
17 carries, 68 yards for that average of 4. Davis has done his part. 2nd and 10. Broken up. Intended for Rod Smith. Chris Spielman, of all people. The linebacker known for his play against the run breaks up the pass.
You know, Chris Spielman is knocked a lot for his coverage ability. He's not in there in 3rd down situations. But if you put a linebacker like Chris Spielman within 7-8 yards of the ball, he is going to take his position. It's not his job to get out of Rod Smith's way. Rod Smith just doesn't stop in time not to run into him. And this defense is stuffing Elway's offense in that 10-yard zone.
See the time left in overtime. 3rd down. Elway down the sideline. And was he inbound? Yes. Catch made by Ed McCaffrey.
Elway pass.
McCaffrey with a clutch grab gives Denver a 1st down.
You don't have to catch many to later qualify as having had a great game. McCaffrey catches one of few, but catches it at the right time. And what a job of concentration in catching it. The knee gets down, that equals 2 feet, that's in.
41-yard line of the Bills. Here's Elway on 1st down. Complete to Smith. And Smith has it at the 28-yard line. 1st down, Denver.
Rod Smith made the reception. Thomas Smith made the tackle. And that sets up Denver already in field goal range, even for a struggling Jason Elam. Physical offense, physical defense, and the laser cannon is back.
John Elway trying to do it again. Davis turns his way close to the 20-yard line.
You've gotten your offense into the positive field position. Now you use Terrell Davis to set up Jason Elam. You don't have to get greedy. It's overtime. A field goal will win. The shorter the better for Jason Elam.
2nd and 3.
2nd down. About 3 yards to go for the 1st down. Here's Davis again. I think he has the 1st down. Covington tackling Davis. Check the spot of the football. It is 1st down, Denver. So the Broncos getting the key 3rd down completion. Elway to McCaffrey. Continue to drive now with a 1st down at the 17 of the Bills.
Don't be surprised if this play is just used for position. Get the ball in position, get your kicker on the field to win this game. More plays with more chances to mess up and maybe put the ball on the ground.
Davis. 14-yard line. Bruce Smith the tackle.
Davis on the left side.
And Terrell Davis has exceeded 200 yards as
3-yard gain.
He's closing in at 206 on his Denver record 215 earlier this season against Cincinnati. And they still have Elam on the sideline, not yet electing to send him out for the game-winning try.
Well, until Elam's foot hits the ball for a field goal, if it has to, the only person that will touch the ball is going to be Terrell Davis.
Ball start by Carswell.
Oh, a cardinal sin in this situation is to not listen for the snap and jump early.
Prior to the snap, ball start. 89 offense, 5 yards, repeat 2nd down.
It has to have been said in the huddle. It's been said by the line. It's been said by the backs. Carswell might have even said it. But I know Elway's reminded him.
2:46 left in overtime. Football put down just inside the 20. 2nd and 12. Terrell Davis to the 15.
Davis up the middle.
Bruce Smith another tackle. Jason Elam still on the sideline.
Terrell Davis getting some wonderful blocking up front for the entire offensive line. Remember, Habib's out with a little bit of a bad back. David Diaz-Infante's in there. The ball is blasted up the middle, and this play here is purely got to be for position. Got to be a matter of where you want your kicker to kick it from.
It looks like it's going to be a win or tie for Denver as the clock continues to tick away. Elam having a word with his coach Shanahan. And Denver takes the timeout at 2:01. Overtime game. Broncos with a chance to win.
It's your own little world. You're way up high, so you can see everything. It has lots of places to hide your treasures. It's roomy. It's cozy, with space for all your favorite things and your favorite people. It makes you feel like you're part of a club. Dodge Caravan. It's like a treehouse for grown-ups. Now get up to $1,000 cash back on Dodge Caravan.
Back in Buffalo, 2020 game, Denver with the ball, and don't forget the second half of the doubleheader coming up. Jason Elam is on now to attempt the game-winning field goal. There's the lineup in game 2. Check your local listings coming up shortly.
Very shortly, if Jason Elam has anything to say about it. Struggled last week against the Raiders.
He's had one game winner in overtime. He's 2 of 3 today, missed from 38 yards. This is a 33-yard attempt to win for Denver in overtime. And timeout is called.
It sounds easy, Tom, but you have to get past the snap and the hold before Elam can do his thing, and we've seen both those off this year numerous times.
Terrell Davis over 200 yards rushing for the Broncos today. Alex Van Pelt leading a Buffalo late comeback. Steve Christie hitting from 55 yards to put the game in overtime, and now Jason Elam with a chance to win it for the Broncos.
This game has been a case of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Which one will Elam go into?
33 yards to win. High snap. And it's good. Jason Elam wins the game for the Broncos with a 33-yard field goal in overtime. The Broncos go to 7-1 with the victory, and yes, that sums up this whole weekend for Shanahan and the Broncos. Elam with the game winner, 23-20 in overtime. Coming up next, game 2 of our NFL on NBC doubleheader. Most of you see Jacksonville at Pittsburgh. For Andy Cross, Tom Hammond saying so long from Rich Stadium. You've been watching the NFL on NBC, network of the Super Bowl.
Thursday, Chandler's in love with Joey's girlfriend.
I'm a horrible person. No, you're not, Chandler. We still love you, Chandler.
Friends, NBC Thursday.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Wouldn't putting your stars together with our 5-star rating be a bright thing to do?